Okay, welcome everybody. This is Manhattan Community Board One's monthly meeting. I am Tammy Meltzer, chair. Seated next to me is Mimi Flynn, our secretary, and Brandon's over here, our assistant secretary. We're good.
With an E, Brendan.
Brendan. We'll get him, Brendan. We'll get him promotion. Okay, it's 6:11. We're starting without a couple people in the room, but we really need to get in and we really need to get out. We've got a lot of stuff to cover tonight. So with that, we're going to start with the public session. And we had several people tiered up. If you hear your name called and you are online, please raise your hand so we can recognize you and ask you to unmute. So the first three will be April Lang, Michelle Ashkin, and Esther Riggleson. Esther, I know, is with us in the room, so it's the other ones online. I need you to raise your hand, please. April, fantastic. You get to go first.
Okay, great. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, welcome.
Perfect. Thank you. So, hello, my name is April Lang, and I'm a psychotherapist, humane educator, and animal advocate. And I'm presenting today with my friend and colleague, Michelle Ashkin. New Yorkers love their companion animals, but too often don't have the knowledge that would ensure that they are the best guardians for them to keep them safe and happy. For example, understanding the importance of spay-neuter, having unrealistic expectations about an animal's behavior, and putting unrealistic demands upon them, being realistic about the financial costs of caring for their companions, as well as having valuable information about things like feeding, walks, litter box habits, and potential dangers inside and outside the home. These are all important to ensure a happy and successful relationship and to prevent as much as possible these animals being given up, whether they're tossed away to shelter or abandoned on the street, both of which happens quite often. These animals will then suffer terribly through no fault of their own. Our goal is to share this information with the public that will improve the odds for happy and safe coexistence for all. So any suggestions from all of you here, where in our community or even on the community board that we can present this material will be welcomed. Thank you for your time.
Oh, animals? I have one of my own.
Okay, next person online, I believe, was Michelle Ashkin, and I'm requesting you to unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Michelle, welcome back.
Hi, everybody. So I'm a colleague of April's. I'm also a colleague of Esther's, and I'm also here to discuss animals, but from a little bit of a different perspective. The three of us have really been working very hard in many ways for animal protection, whether it's wildlife, companion animals, feral animals. It's a big issue for us and for so many people in our community. So as many of you know, I'm a longtime resident here. I also started an organization called Voices for Urban Wildlife. And I started that because we have a need right here in this community for protecting the wildlife right here in Battery Park City and in the downtown area. I'm a wildlife rehabber. I get hundreds and hundreds of calls every single year from people who find injured, orphaned, poisoned, or sick animals. They don't know what to do. They're desperate, and we try very hard to help them. I have a network of people who help them. And so Voices for Urban Wildlife, and I'd like to send you the website the website information. We designed that to be an outreach and education nonprofit to work with both schools and communities throughout the city. We're starting here in Battery Park City to help people become more involved, to help them what they need to do to remain safe if they find an injured or orphaned animal, and what they can do to help. It's a real need. It's particularly concerning for me, knowing that we're going to be, for the resiliency project, cutting down many hundreds of trees here, and we do anticipate that there'll be a lot of injury, a lot of orphaned animals, a lot of nests a lot of stuff going on. And so the more people within the community who know what to do when they find these animals, it will be much better for the animals. Certainly will help people be safer for pets as well. And so We've decided to come to the community and to put out an ask for you, to you. The biggest ask is if you might be able to suggest for us ways that we can reach out to the community that you might be able to support us with. We were thinking that perhaps we could come and speak in a more formal situation and do like a 15-minute presentation at the appropriate committee at an upcoming meeting. And that would certainly be one ask, so we could get people who are interested to know what's happening and they could get involved. We would also, I would love if it would be possible to get the information onto CB1's website, because that would be,
Seconds, Esther.
I'm sorry?
10 seconds, Michelle, sorry.
Okay. And any other suggestions that you can offer that might be helpful. So that's what we're asking for. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Esther Riggleson in the room. 2 minutes, please.
I think my colleagues have already said what needs to be said, and more ways to educate and about wildlife and strays in the area. I do CNR trapping, and I also do disaster animal rescue, and it's much needed for people to know what to do. There's no infrastructure in New York City really to take care of this, and people don't know where to go or what to do, and we want to take care of that.
That's it. Okay. All righty. Thank you very much, Esther.
Thank you.
So Alice is not here tonight. She heads up environmental protection, but I certainly think that you should send a request to Alice and Wendy. That probably seems like it's the right, committee.
No, quality of life, wouldn't it be like animals?
That's the question, isn't environmental,
Oh,
it's environmental if it's animal.
We can do it either way. That's what it's
Yeah.
like. Maybe it's
Also
going
quality
to
of life.
quality of life.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's call it.
All right, so then we could certainly have you come for quality of life. Esther, please be in touch with Pat and Zach. Or Michelle or April, anyone from the crew. Okay? All righty, I'm gonna go through Shannon Burkett is going to be next, followed by Carlo Casa. And after Carlo Casa,
The owl.
that's it. Okay, so welcome very much. And if you are online, like Carlo is, please put your hand up so we can find you. All right, thank you. Welcome. And your 2 minutes.
Thank you so much. My name is Shannon Burkett, and I'm a resident of Lower Manhattan. I wanted to thank Community Board 1 so much for passing the resolution in support of the Lead Paint Right to Know Act this past fall. My son Cooper was diagnosed with lead poisoning when he was only 9 months old. My son and I have worked alongside other organizations this season, families, victims, advocates, working tirelessly to get this bill over the finish line. We secured numerous co-sponsors, and the bill passed the Assembly with the largest margin yet, 106-40. Unfortunately for the children of New York State, this bill never even made it out of committee, did not even get a chance to be voted in the Senate. A question I have for the board, and a question that would be beneficial for the citizens of New York to have an answer for, is why the policy change regarding access to central staffing. Central staffing is the office in Albany that is responsible for putting bills onto the floor for a vote. Families, victims, constituents used to be permitted to speak to this office to provide personal testimony as to how a piece of legislation would redress the issues that cause such pain and suffering that they now desperately are trying to prevent for others. Now only businesses have access to central staffing, and the citizens are shut out. With the draconian EPA budget cuts and also the shutting down of lead prevention programs, a bill like the Lead Paint Right to Know Act is crucial in keeping New Yorkers safe. An inexpensive bill with a massive return. I hope and would be ever so grateful to have CB1 join us again next year in this fight by passing another resolution in support of this bill. And for more information and to listen to a podcast about our family's experience with lead poisoning that we created, go to endleadpoisoning.org. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Dan Byers, you can find him?
Dan is here, yeah.
Hey, Dan. So we'd love to connect it.
It's nice to meet you.
Oh, hi.
Oh, yeah. That's okay. I'd like to get the two of you connected because, yeah. Okay. Alrighty, next up is Carlo Casa. I have sent a request for you to be unmuted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Welcome.
Great, thank you very much. My name is Carlo Casa. I'm the Director of Policy and Research at the New York Building Congress. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. The Building Congress proudly represents more than 500 organizations and over 250,000 skilled tradespeople and professionals, all dedicated to the growth and prosperity of this city. We strongly support the Seaport Entertainment Group's proposal for a temporary winter structure on the Pier 17 rooftop, which would extend seasonal programming and enhance public use of this iconic space during the colder months. The structure, only to be open from mid-November through mid-March, will drive foot traffic, support local businesses, and enhance the waterfront at a time when visitation typically slows. It is a smart, time-sensitive, time-limited enhancement that creates consistent economic and cultural value for the entire Seaport community and Lower Manhattan as a whole. This proposal aligns with the broader vision for the Seaport District as a year-round destination for arts, culture, and community activity. It also lays the groundwork for future events tied to historic milestones, including the 250th anniversary of the United States and the 400th anniversary of New York. The Pier 17 rooftop has become one of the city's most dynamic gathering spaces. This seasonal addition ensures that it continues to serve residents, visitors, and small businesses even throughout the winter. We urge your support for this plan, and we look forward to working with the Seaport Entertainment Group as they bring forward more community-focused programming in the months and years ahead. Thank you very much for your consideration.
Thank you very, very much for speaking. I want to give deference to the team from Pier 17 who's here and ask if they want to speak during the public hearing portion of the meeting. George?
They're gonna speak, but
If there are questions.
yeah.
Okay, great. All righty, so with that in line, I see no other hands up online for people to be speaking from the public. And I see no hands up in the room. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna end the public session portion of our meeting and move straight into the public hearing. The public hearing today is a presentation by Leah Barazini, who's our CB1 fellow from the Fund for the City of New York. She did an amazing, amazing project, and we're gonna have her come and present. We have slides for Leah. And I'm gonna move to, can actually take the chair, take the chair seat and roll.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Everybody else?
You forgot?
Email.
Look in your email.
I might want to know where
Introduce yourself and off you go.
Hi, everyone. My name is Leah. I was a community planning fellow through the Fund for the City of New York. So for the last, like 8 months or so, I was working with Alice on the board, as well as Tammy and Zach, to put together a project regarding making the public realm more resilient in Lower Manhattan. So I already did a sort of expanded presentation for the executive committee, so this might be familiar to some of you. And this is a slightly condensed version and hopefully questions. Yeah, I'm covering a lot, so if I breeze past something that requires further explanation, please.
Did you guys find it?
Everyone was up.
We'll hear from her.
I think so.
Where it is.
Okay. While we're waiting, do you mind spelling your name?
Sure. My first name Leah,
Mhm.
last name Barazani.
Thank you.
Okay, yep, so as I said, my name is Leah. I'm an urban planning student currently at Hunter College. And I've been very honored for the chance to work with this community board, this community district, I'll be talking about CD1's public realm and how and where efforts can be made to promote resiliency. The goals here are kind of twofold. I'm interested in addressing a lack of green space for residents, as well as to mitigate issues with flooding, urban heat, and livability as climate change continues to strain public infrastructure. We'll quickly look at some maps to assess climate vulnerabilities, followed by a brief overview of one case from outside the district where I think resilient infrastructure was effectively implemented. And I'll conclude briefly by tying back to CD1 and pointing out opportunities both within and outside the district, as well as some broader policy level mechanisms. I'd like to again thank Alice for all of her help with this project, and Tammy and Zach for whose feedback was really integral to making this a cohesive project. Okay, so the map on the right here, this is to show kind of where some climate vulnerabilities are. The map on the left here shows impervious surfaces in the district. So that's concrete, pavement, brick, anything that doesn't absorb water, and it also tends to reflect heat, causing, so it's where urban heat is exacerbated and flood risks are the highest. CD1 has around 85.7% impervious surfaces, which is quite a lot. You can see there's a lot of red up there. The green is pervious and the blue is semi-pervious. And on the right here, this is a map of the population growth between 2010 and 2020. It's around in total about a 30% population increase in the district as a whole, which you may all be aware of. That's a really rapid change, and that trend is continuing. And you can see from this map, these are by census tract. That's happening really most in the Seaport Thideye areas and Tribeca. So that's where public infrastructure strain is going to be felt the most. Moving forward, looking at the next slide. So this is a flood hazard map using 2015 data from FEMA to determine flood risk across the district. It doesn't account for the many resiliency plans that CD1 will be implementing going forward, likely. But given that the timeline on those, as well as the federal funding, is very uncertain, I think it's at this point still necessary to account for existing vulnerabilities. And the DOH has determined that the heat island effect, the most important factor in mitigating that is green infrastructures, trees, anything that reduces the perviousness of the surface of the ground. Moving forward. So to tie into that, streets and the public right of way represents around 30% of the impervious area of the city as a whole, and that includes the district. It's around the same. So I was interested in seeing if there are locations in the district where car traffic is already fairly low and pedestrian demand is high. So that's represented on this map on the left here, which shows, I don't know, it's a little bit small. I don't know if you can tell that the hot pink up on the top left of the little legend, those are the streets where those criteria are met. That's using 2023 traffic data from the state, so it's a little bit behind, and DOT's pedestrian demand categories to determine where pedestrian demand is highest. So this on the right here are just some examples from that map where street space could potentially be allocated a little bit differently to reduce the perviousness of that pavement. So that could be through rain gardens, street trees, infiltration basins, or even just seating and pedestrian pathways to activate these spaces. And I focused here on spaces in Tribeca because this neighborhood currently has the largest gaps in open public space. It's also the fastest growing, and it's subject to particularly high heat risk and high flood risk and urban heat. And to illustrate how these kinds of street space changes have been implemented outside of the district, that'll be the next slide. So this is looking at Astor Place and Cooper Square Plaza, which was redeveloped between 2011 and 2016 for $21 million as a DOT capital project managed by the DDC. It's pretty hard to tell in this grainy Google Earth picture, but they added 42,000 feet of square space to this plaza, as well as a great deal of green infrastructure to absorb water. And that was through expanding into some of the pavement. And I'll go into the details of that in the next slide. So They fully eliminated this traffic lane, which is, I believe, on Astor Place. Close to car traffic, it was raised and they added seating to make this like a cohesive pedestrian plaza. They also eliminated a lane on Fourth Avenue and made it one way for this section, and expanded it using infiltration planters, which look like that. And this is how those work. So the water filters from the plaza down a graded sidewalk into this kind of basin that holds the water. It was also covered in permeable pavement, which allows water to seep in, making this entire plaza basically essentially a big sponge for floodwater. So this was a really substantial redevelopment. And specifically light cover permeable pavements can lower ambient air temperatures from 4 to 9 degrees Fahrenheit, which we're all feeling it today. That would make a pretty big difference. So moving forward onto some recommendations. Actually, you can go 2 slides ahead. I have just a brief overview, but I'll cover each one. So yeah, this is just a brief overview, and then one more slide. My first 2 recommendations largely go hand in hand. I'm using an example of Duane Park here to illustrate, which is currently in the process of undergoing a redevelopment that would expand it and add 1,636 feet, I believe, of greenery to the space, as well as 260 feet of active sidewalk. It takes advantage of the particularly light car traffic on that street, and it'll incorporate curb space into the new design. So even this like kind of small scale addition of space can make a really big difference to the benefits that this particular open space provides to the community and to the environment, to the very local environment. And yeah, if used for resilient green infrastructure like the infiltration basins around Cooper Square, you could see a pretty big effect from that. Next, I was fortunate enough to get the opportunity to speak with Peter Baumann of Baumann Capital of Architects about this. He found that team founded Rotary Park Inc. to advocate for the development of this particular underutilized space into a cohesive public realm amenity. Due to its geography, the space is at particularly high risk of flooding. We can see that based on the FEMA flood map from before, and it's also not covered by the waterfront resiliency plans that are tackling kind of the rest of the U. So it's particularly vulnerable, and Rotary Park Inc. has a couple of different proposals for how this space could look. One of them is called the Sponge, which would essentially turn the site into a massive rain garden, which would be very cool to see. It would also be cool to see it turned into more of an active park space, but with different limitations there. And CB1 has already passed several resolutions in support of doing something with this space. I'm sure you've all heard of it and are familiar with it. Ideas have been presented to city and state officials, as well as the Port Authority, who currently own the space. It's the kind of proposal that will just require really consistent advocacy and the involvement of like the right public officials. But in the meantime, smaller scale projects can be accomplished, as proven by the planting of street trees around there by the Tribeca Alliance. So these are some broader, more like policy level mechanisms. And I'll just talk about the ones that might be unfamiliar. We all know about street trees. So in the interest of continuing to view street space as a shared resource in the public realm, strategies to reduce car and truck congestion can play a large role in re-envisioning resilient spaces across the district. One project the city has been piloting that would reduce truck congestion is called delivery microhubs. These create dedicated zones for delivery trucks to unload and have parcels picked up by smaller scale micro haulers. This has been implemented successfully in other cities. It reduces double parking and emissions from large trucks, as well as reducing the impact to our street space, which is, as we know in CD1, already very congested. Public spaces are essential for communities, and they will play an immense role in increasing resiliency going forward. But CD1 continues to be a major draw for private developers. And there are some mechanisms that can be implemented that would hold private developers to certain standards regarding their impact on the district's already very strained infrastructure. For example, in Seattle, they have a policy called the Green Factor, which is a point-based policy that would require all new developments to meet certain thresholds for green space and resiliency infrastructure in their developments. That could be implemented universally or in conjunction with existing like POPs in CD1, which we have very many of. And additionally, New York City has a program called the Green Infrastructure Program, and it will fund green infrastructure on very large private developments. And they also offer grants for property owners to install green roofs. And so people can be made aware of those things. Yeah. And that is all I have for today. My email is on the next slide. I would love to take questions now and also over email, any piece clarification.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank job, well done.
A lot for 7 minutes for Q&A. If anybody has direct questions, you can also follow up by email. It is up to you. If you do have a question, please put your hand up now so we can get there. Wendy.
I just want to say, as someone who thinks about these things and talks about these things, you hit all of the ones that we really want. You know, I think in terms of, I'd love to know like what you learned when you were going through this process that you didn't know before you started. And, you know, is there anything that people your age you think will catch fire and interest them?
That's a good question. I learned so much. It's hard to even remember where I started. First of all, I'm from, or I live in Queens, so I did learn just a lot about CD1 in particular, about all the various open spaces and typologies of open spaces that exist, as well as all of the really hard work that's being done on those spaces. It's something that I don't really see in my area. I try to be involved in parks and open spaces where I live, but I think CD1 has a really active and engaged populace that really, that puts a lot of, I think because the city is often very reticent to provide funding and help with these spaces, many people in this room have had to step up and work really hard on these spaces. So that was a pretty major thing for me to learn. Yeah.
Do you think anything resonates with people your age?
Definitely. I mean, I think that, again, thinking about my own neighborhood and talking to my neighbors who are my own age, I think there's a really big understanding that green spaces are where so much of of livability comes from. And also, you know, the city, something I didn't mention in the report, and that I don't know how much utility it has, but the city has a couple of like stewardship programs where you can like store a little rain garden and take care of it. And I think that kind of program that activates young people with the support, like financially through the city, I think that will be really helpful to get more people involved in this kind of thing too.
Awesome. I will tell you that one of the team from Assemblymember Fall's office asked for the presentation, so we'll send it to her and connect the two of you. And in fact, you have your hand up. So Lisa, you're next. You have to unmute yourself, Lisa.
Chit chat.
Yeah,
We're not unmuted.
Lisa, you have to unmute yourself.
And that's, it's still unmuted.
Just answered my question. Thank you. Just to send the presentation over to me and also on Leah's email. And thank you. That was very good presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Anybody else? I don't see any other hands up online. Anybody else in the room? Oh, Richard.
So what do you see as the next steps with this project and with the work that you've done?
That's a great question. I think, you know, any one of those, the like recommendations has kind of all different levels of engagement that are possible and also, you know, would be like feasible next moves forward. I think that like the small scale activation projects that are being done like by the Tribeca Alliance and street trees are going to be essential to getting more attention to some of these spaces. Also, I know that, and I highlighted in my broader presentation, but the Hudson Square bid, yes, thank you. The Hudson Square bid has a really robust design framework for street trees and new capital projects for parks that really highlight the importance of increasing permeability and reducing urban heat. And I think collaborating with them in some capacity would be useful. Personally, I'm turning this into a report and I'll try to expand on some of those prospects in it, and that will be available on the community website at some point.
That's really, really well done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much, Leah. I did see that we are honored to have Senator Kavanaugh with us and Assemblymember Lee.
Yeah.
I am sure that one of you, if not both of you, have a tight agenda and schedule for tonight. So talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
Talk amongst yourselves who goes first. I think what we can do is start the business session first, just so we can get moving and do roll call. So, and then we'll have either one of you go first, whoever would like to. Mimi, take it away.
Okay,
So we are officially ending the public hearing. Thank you at 6:41.
this is for the minutes. Arden?
Here.
It's a vote.
It's a yes.
Oh, sorry. For the minutes last month.
The minutes.
Yes.
Oh, so say your name and then your vote.
Our second meeting, this is going great.
Thank you.
Of course, it's.
Don't worry, Derek. We've been here for years to get that reminder.
Yeah.
We're good.
Thank you. Cameron?
Cameron, yes.
Thank you. Cassell?
So, yes.
Thank you. Chang?
Here, yes.
Thank you. Chapman?
Kevin, yes.
Thank you. Charcudian?
Charcudian, yes.
Thank you. Cole?
Cole, yes.
Thank you. Corman?
Foreman, yes.
Thank you. Kucha?
Lucia, yes.
Thank you. Flores?
Flores, yes.
Thank you. Flynn, yes. Friedman?
Come back, he's in the hallway.
I just wanted to yell louder.
No.
Roman?
Roman, yes.
Thank you. Galloway?
Galloway, yes.
Thank you. Goldstein?
Goldstein, yes.
Thank you. Good kind. Hernandez?
Nope.
James?
Nope, definitely.
Joyce? Kay? Thank you. Cannell? Capel?
Joel was,
I thought I saw Joel.
I thought I saw Joel online, but he might be back later.
Lerner?
Lerner, yes.
Do you have your camera, Joe?
Okay, no,
Yeah, Joe, you gotta have your camera on.
okay.
Yes.
Lion?
Lion, yes.
Thank you. Meltzer?
Meltzer, yes.
Thank you. Moore?
Moore, yes.
Thank you. Portia Corey? All right. Rios?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Robinson?
Robinson, yes.
Thank you. Rossi?
Frosty, yes.
Thank you. Scott, or John Scott? John Scott.
I don't think I saw either.
Okay. Star?
Star, yes.
See, thank you. Jimmy Song?
No.
Vera Song?
Yes, son, yes.
Thank you. Thompson?
Thompson, yes.
Thank you. Townley? Zelter?
Zelter, yes.
Thank you. You have exactly 26.
And if nobody can leave.
So,
Friedman, yes.
I wanted to yell louder for you.
27.
Thank you.
so does that put us at 27?
Sure does. Doesn't mean Friedman can leave though.
So understand, 26 is quorum to run this meeting. The goal would be, since I already know 2 people need to leave early tonight, let's get rocking right after our elected speak and let's get going down the road, all right? Everybody in the room in agreement?
Yes.
Yes. Senator Kavanaugh? Grace is first. Perfect. Welcome, Grace.
Like that guy, the Micro Machines commercials.
There you go.
Oh, wow. That was a long time ago.
I know, I'm showing my age. Nice to see everyone. Happy June. We just finished an excessively long session in Albany. Our budget was over 30 days overdue, so it kept us in Albany much longer than I think either of us had really wanted.
but it's really great to see everyone. Just wanted to give you a few things that we worked on and were able to achieve through the end of the session. Mainly want to talk to you about Lower Manhattan, the relocation employment assistance program. It was up to be renewed, and I worked very closely with Jessica Lappin at Downtown Alliance to pass a bill to renew Lower Manhattan LM REAP, as they call it, for another 3 years. This is pretty significant. It's, you know, small dollars to the city overall, but is a real incentive to bring businesses to Lower Manhattan from outside of New York City. And, you know, right now, Lower Manhattan's facing, you know, historic vacancy rates across all of our commercial office spaces. And that's having a ripple effect across the entire local economy, because, you know, a lot of our, local businesses that serve the commercial corridors are also going out of business. I know down in the financial district, we've seen a lot of that. So to be able to continue to provide incentives to bring businesses specifically to Lower Manhattan was a really big win. I will say that the city was really pushing hard against it. They have their own program that we did also pass within this same bill for larger companies who are going to come in and rent bigger spaces, larger square footage, that mainly benefits places like Midtown. But Jessica Lapp and I really worked hard to lobby to make sure that Lower Manhattan's relocation assistance program stayed part of, what we accomplished. So really happy and excited about that. Senator Capito and I have a bill specifically on Brownfield Technical Assisted Grant Program, which was something that was near and dear to our hearts because of the work that I did at 250 Water Street to help get technical assistance grants for the community when we were facing that brownfield cleanup. The governor vetoed the bill last year, so we are passing it again. We passed it through again this session, and we're going to really work with the governor's office to see if we can find a way to get that passed into law. And this would grant any community with a brownfield site close to a daycare center or school to be able to be eligible for a technical assistance grant program, because we know how valuable Excel Environmental and Laura Dodge were to our community to help assist us in guiding us through that process. I also passed a bill called the Asian American Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander Education Equity Act. And this is going to authorize the state education department to conduct a statewide survey on the teaching of API history across New York State. And also form an advisory committee that will look at how API history is taught in schools and provide recommendations to SED. This is a really big win for the community. I've had young people from all across New York State, like skipping school, coming up and lobbying legislators because they want to see their stories told in history books in their classrooms. And so this is a step forward. Thank you to helping to make sure that API history is folded into the larger history of American history here in New York. So really excited about that. Some really exciting events happening. We are hosting a free salsa and salsa event called Rhythms of LES this Thursday. The heat is supposed to break, so it'll only be 85. But it's going to be at Soul Lane Playground at 271 Henry Street. But it's really fun. We have this huge salsa band that's going to be playing, like 10-piece band. And so just lots of, dancing and a good time with community members. My office is also, that will be from 5 to 7 p.m. at 271 Henry Street, Soul Lane Playground. My office is marching in the Pride Parade this Sunday. It's kind of fun. We go in the beginning, so it's a little less crazy. We don't have a float, unfortunately, but we have music and a lot of community members come out for it. So if anyone is interested in marching in the Pride Parade with us, we would love to have you. And I'll have some more details on the back table, or you reach out to my office and we can sign you up. But it will be early and it's a fun thing to be part of. especially in these times. And then, finally, we have a Juneteenth event, that we are co-sponsoring with Senator Kavanaugh and Assemblymember Epstein's, office. And that will be Monday, 5 to 7 PM at 350 East Fourth Street, for the note taker, for secretary. So, if you would like to participate in that too, we would love to have you.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Does anybody have any questions for Assemblymember Lee? Justine?
My question's for Senator Lee, Member Fall, and then Senator Kavanaugh. So I can wait till after Senator Kavanaugh, too, because whatever, unless you're leaving, or you'll be in.
They probably are, so
So,
it is.
okay, it's good. You'll-
Lots of hot more time. Thanks.
There you go. Okay, but you win though, this one, because you actually passed it in the Senate. Going to Battery Park City, which is the heart of, my heart, but, one thing that we've been pushing for is to try to get some relief from condo owners who make below 150, 130, whatever you guys can sell, AMI, to give them a break in the ground rent, to try to keep them in their homes. And I know that, in the Senate it passed, 2 years in a row now it's passed, but it's never gotten out of committee, to even be voted on in the Assembly. So I know I've spoken to, Assemblymember Fall directly. I know it's not your district, but I know you love us.
Yeah.
And, I'm gonna ask if you could support it and see what you can do to get out there and get behind it. And if anybody needs help with this, your office, you, to understand why and how, I'm happy to be helping you figure it out. And I know that Assemblymember Fall has put forth, legislation, it's there, the bill exists.
Right.
And that's the big one. I know that in Battery Park City, there's a bill, there's also a petition going around, again, for more,
Representation.
more representation on the Battery Park City Authority. If the governor has said, no.
Yeah.
The governor before her said no, but that also would be something that wouldn't be frowned upon. But that was my.
I'm on the housing committee, so if I'll reach out to Member Paul, get more details about the bill, and if there's anything I can do to help advocate for it, I'm happy to do that.
That would be great.
We can work on it together. Maybe we do a press conference, like when session starts up again, to get on people's radar as well. I think that'd be great.
Because the amount of people.
Okay.
But okay, go ahead.
Who else has their hand up? Andrew?
Thank you.
So the government's, I'm sorry, was the governor's veto of the Brownfield Community Grant Program largely related to budget, or was there other reasons?
He's claiming that's gonna cost $1.5 million to implement, which we don't believe is actually the case. That's a very easy excuse for anything that she's not going to support, is just to say there's a fiscal implication that's unfunded. This is an existing program. It would just open up the eligibility to a few more sites. Very few sites even qualify for technical assistance grants, and the qualification is the eligibility is so narrow. So, but I think it requires a little bit more education. So we have a new DEC commissioner who's just come in, and so we're going to have some more conversations about that. There's a lot of resistance from real estate developers as well. Of course, naturally. So that is, I think that we're also fighting against some industry pushback. But that's something, I worked with Rodney on the Lower Manhattan REAP program. I think that there are ways for us to work together, so we'll try and do that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing, hearing none and none online, thank you very much, Grace.
Great, thank you. Thanks.
Hey, Brian.
Thanks, Brian Galvin, your state senator. Great to be with all of you. I've been, electioneering all day. My voice is a little weak, but, I have just a few quick, local updates. First of all, just a congratulations. I've been very proud to support Gotham Park all this time. $50 million, a remarkable achievement. Rose and her team.
Wow.
We also, annually, the Senate, gives an award, Woman of Distinction. It's a statewide, basically one from each Senate district. We did present that award, to Lorraine, Dimson, as a member of your board, and also, a really wonderful community. So,
Not us.
oh, she's not on.
She's the other board.
Oh, forgive me.
He said then, not us.
No, it's the other board.
But we still congratulate her.
Next year, we'll give it to a member of this board. In the interest of, as Tiny said, rocking forward, I will. I have mixed notes for 2 board meetings, sorry. The Manhattan Detention Complex, that's your street.
Yeah.
You know, most of you have probably heard that the official notice to proceed has been issued. We will be reconvening again our, working group that this board and, the council member and the assembly member, the borough president, the congress member and my office have convened so that members of the community and interested parties can hear directly from the city and we can have dialogue in our continuing efforts to manage the impact of that giant project in the community. There are, of course, continuing efforts to not build a giant jail at that site, but this is very much an effort to make sure that to the extent there's activity that we're addressing impacts directly and people have accurate information. And again, we also did have Laura Dodge, the environmental consultant, also working on that to help ensure that we're monitoring the significant potential environmental impacts of the project. We will be, again, I think the meeting is scheduled for this Friday. Legislative updates. It was a long session. There's a lot to talk about. I chair the housing committee, so I'm going to just take a minute on housing. This was a very good year for housing at the state level. We added about $2.5 billion of new money to assorted housing causes, including more than $1 billion in capital that'll be available for housing development and maintaining what we've got in New York City. We made sure there's $225 million for public housing, which is a relative high for most years, and also $140 million for renovating and upgrading Mitchell-Lama developments. And that's also the largest number in recent memory. I've also, some of you have heard me talk about this before, I have been pushing for a very long time for rental assistance as a core approach to our housing crisis. I introduced a bill in February of 2020, right before COVID consumed our lives and a lot of our budgets. But we finally passed something called the Housing Access Voucher Program and funded it this year after a 5-year fight. This is Section 8 style voucher program. We got $50 million to get the program started for the first year. This is potentially really transformative, and I'm very proud that we managed to get it done.
Who administers it?
It'll be administered statewide by the State Housing Agency, but in New York by HPD and NYCHA. It's designed to be similar enough to Section 8 that folks that administer that program will be able to hit the ground running and getting these vouchers out the door.
Thank you.
Okay, and it's a little, because it's a state program, not federal program, it's also a little more flexible than the federal program. I also have been focusing very much on making sure there's rental assistance available when people are facing imminent eviction. And we do have a new program, but we also managed to fund for the second year to do that. The Battery Park City bills were mentioned. I'll take more questions if you want. The other big thing, and I know this board has a resolution, I think tonight, or maybe it's another board. The SCREE and DREE and fee and program. These are the rent freeze programs. They freeze rent for people who are older head of household or disabled head of household and meet income requirements and are paying more than a third of their income in rent. They're also comparable programs for low-income homeowners. The threshold, I was very proud when I was involved in raising the maximum income from that program 10 years ago from $29,000 to $50,000, which seemed like a big jump in 2014. $50,000 isn't what it used to be. So we had a couple of press conferences on this. We had a public hearing of the Senate on rental assistance programs, including this, and we identified 10 bills that we think would constitute a pretty broad reform of those programs. We got nearly all of them through the Senate, including the bill that I think is the subject of your resolution, which would raise that income threshold from $50,000 to $67,000 and then index it going forward for inflation, so we don't have to have this fight again in 10 years. That bill, Deborah Glick is the sponsor. She put tremendous effort into it. We didn't quite get it done, but I think we have teed up this issue as a core issue. It is an existing affordability program, and yet it freezes people's rent at 40 or 50% of their income sometimes. And if they make, you get a cost of living adjustment that kicks you above 50,000, you lose the benefit entirely. So these are sorely needed we will be back, and I think, again, we've made a lot of progress this year, didn't quite get it done in both houses. A lot of environmental work this year. I have done a lot of work on toxins over a lot of years, but branched out into the air, and we did a lot of good bills on PFAS, these extremely toxic chemicals. We did a new allocation of money in the state budget to deal with lead abatement in people's homes in New York. There's a $20 million program outside the city that I got done a few years ago in the budget. We doubled that, so there's $20 million that'll be spent in New York City to remove lead from people's homes. Children are getting poisoned in their own homes all too frequently. I also branched out this year into this. There were loopholes in federal food regulation that permit food companies to decide they want to add a novel ingredient, a chemical, to your food. And they can either submit it to the FDA for approval, or they can do their own science. And if they decide it's generally recognized as safe, they can add it to your food without disclosing either the presence of the ingredient in some cases or the science to anybody. Okay, I was mystified when I went to some food policy conference a few years ago. Anyway, we wrote a bill that basically said if you want to do that and you want to sell the food in New York, you need to disclose it to our Ag and Markets Department. That will then publish both the presence of the chemical and the science for all the world to see and review. The food industry of America came very aggressively to Albany to kill this bill. Every food company was in my office at one time. At some point, everything that they basically make all the food. We did manage to pass this in the Senate this year, which again, in a single session is a remarkable thing. We actually managed to pass it by a vote of 58-1.
Wow.
There's a food industry guy who's a senator on the Republican side, and we convinced him this was the right thing to do anyway. Again, we fell short of getting this done in the assembly this year, but it's a big step forward, and we really do need to get this done. It allows us to, it is a remarkable thing that these chemicals are in our food and we need to get them out. We did pass, worked with Deborah Glick on a bill. I've been focused a lot on extended producer responsibilities, the notion that if you produce a product, you are responsible for it at the other end of its life when it's going to be disposed of, to take it back, recycle it if possible. We did a bill this year called for extended producer responsibility for bike and scooter batteries. This is both an important environmental cause and also a safety cause, because we know that stacking up used batteries has led to fires and other bad things. Again, that bill is a bill that passed both houses of the legislature and will go to the governor. I would expect she'll be signing that. I know you have a long agenda. We only passed 1,600 bills, so I can cover a few more, but I think I'll stop there and maybe take a couple questions if you're interested.
Wendy's first, Rosa second.
Thank you so much for all the updates. I'm especially all these banned chemicals, being the co-chair of the environmental committee, those are all very good things. We were also hoping that you would pass the lead paint right to know act, and I was just wondering if, being the head of the housing, did that make it more difficult, or, I'm just curious, like how it didn't move from the assembly where it passed and it didn't get put forward, and I'm just wondering, like, what can we do as a constituency? We're gonna bring it up again. We're not gonna, as you mentioned, it's one of the largest, New York State has one of the worst children lead poisoning in any state in the country.
Right.
And we're gonna bring it up again.
Should.
We're gonna come around it, but I'm just like, what do you can do to move it forward, especially because you were so instrumental with putting it forward.
A few years back, we had a hearing jointly with Housing and Health committees in the Senate. We proposed a package of things. The program I mentioned so New York State is relatively bad. It happens that New York City, children's blood levels are tested very young, as a matter of course in hospitals. The rate of positives in New York State overall is about 4%. If you think of 1 in 25 children testing positive, that's outrageous. It's even worse if you're upstate, because the rate in New York City is 2%, which means the rate upstate is nearly 6%. That's
Buffalo's really bad.
And there were zip codes where the rate of lead exposure exceeds the rate at Flint, Michigan at the height of the crisis.
Oh, wow.
Now, what we have managed to do is create a program requiring cyclical inspections of all the rental housing in the highest incidence zip codes. That's a bill I pushed through, got passed a couple years ago, and money to run the inspections, and then also money to abate the lead. The lead abatement, I could not get the last governor to do lead abatement in New York City, but this budget doubled the amount, so we will be actually able to abate the lead in people's homes. We've also done a lot of good work with lead in plumbing. Service lines, we passed a bill this year that will allow us to more quickly identify where the service line, the New York City water system, the DEP system does not have any lead in it, they assert, and I think it's probably accurate. DEP will actually test your water at your tap. You get a sample, send it to them, they'll test it for lead. The lead is likely coming from in the building or in the service line, so we're passing laws to more rapidly get that lead out of the system. The bill you're talking about, which is, there are several bills that we should be doing that we haven't done. One of them is this bill that I wrote that will basically require testing at the point of sale of residential real estate.
Or rental. Yeah, rental or sale.
Right, yeah, sorry, the point of rental and also of sale of a rental building as well, but yeah. So the idea is that you need to do testing so that people know they're coming in. It has been difficult, it has been very, very frustrating me, I've been trying to do this for a few years. The real estate industry has managed to push back very hard and convince some people that this will make it impossible to do real estate transactions, it'll make it impossible to sell real estate. They are wrong. I have not succeeded. I do hope to have a hearing revisiting this with Gustavo Rivera, the chair of the health committee, and up the pressure on this. But yeah, it's the only bill that I passed this year. The only bill that I sponsored that passed the assembly, that did not pass the Senate, is that bill.
Right, we're gonna keep paying attention.
We should, but again, I would like to talk to you more about expanding the advocacy community. It also may be that, maybe that's what's needed in New York City, maybe somewhat different than what's.
Especially because there's so much construction in next door.
But you also have better lead laws on the books because of some good work of the city council. So, but I would like to continue to, it's a very important cause for me and I haven't.
Thank you.
It's
We'll
one of my
keep talking.
biggest disappointments.
Yeah, we'll keep talking.
Thank you.
Okay, Rosa, you were
I have
next.
3 questions. So I'm gonna do it really fast. Number
Okay.
one, how, in the funding for housing that you mentioned for affordable housing, do we have any possibility of getting any of that allocated to 100 Gold Street?
Potentially, the money is in large pots that some of them are quite specifically earmarked.
Yeah.
Like mostly they are like pots of money, like $150 million to support new rental development,
Right.
$50 million to support new homeownership upgrades, that kind of, but it is a total of more than $1 billion, solidly more than $1 billion. It's like 1.2 billion just for New York City. So I think you will see that money being made available for all kinds of projects. They don't have specific projects in mind for the most part with that. So yes, that's a definite possibility.
Okay, question number 2. Thank you so much, first of all, for the funding that you allocated for public restrooms, which we desperately need at the base of the Brooklyn Bridge. The urine smells a little. The bigger we grow, of course, the more people utilize the space. And the more that are there, we don't have any drinking water on site or public restrooms. We would really love to be able to utilize that funding and get them there as quickly as possible.
Right.
If you could aggressively, help us.
Yes,
to
we should
move
probably figure that before
forward.
we have a change in administration.
Yes, we would really appreciate that. Last question is, you know that for the resiliency projects that we have going on, especially affecting FIDI and Seaport, we have some funding concerns related to the lack of federal funding available to complete that. And I'm sorry, but any flood wall that has a really big hole in it, right at FIDI, is not particularly helpful as a flood wall. So I'm wondering if there's anything that we could do with your assistance to get state funding to try to fill the gap so that, well, actually, I didn't mean it, but I do mean it now. So that we can actually keep the project moving forward, at least in design and consultancy periods, so that hopefully when there is a change in funding on the federal administration level, we are ready to go, like shovel ready and there, and we haven't lost the buildup that we've had over these past years that we have seen in the community so that we can immediately utilize the funding and protect ourselves.
So it's important to issue that I think there was a particular grant for that site that was about 20 million, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And it was part of $1 billion program that the Trump administration announced some rolling back. I think with respect to federal cuts, the first line of defense has to be to object strenuously to the federal cost. Because if every time the Trump administration asks they're gonna cut something, we just not gonna say, oh, we have money. It's not gonna, eventually that strategy will run its course pretty rapidly because they're really large amounts of federal money. With that one, it is unclear whether the money is really lost, at least the last we checked. The city had possession of the money, so we are trying to sort it out. We've also talked with Dan Goldman about it. I am very committed to making sure we have the right capital money to do the right projects for resiliency. But I mean, the day that was announced, people asked me, do you have 20 million in state capital? And I said, well, again, that approach will be very problematic if we try to, it won't be sustainable for 3.5 years of this administration. So we're gonna have to be selective, but I'll stay on top of it and try to do everything I can to make sure that the project gets
I
done.
believe that's for Seaport Coastal Resiliency, but the FIDI Seaport Resiliency that's the biggie, the $8 billion plan, right?
I thought you were talking about the specific one that was cut. No, that project, I believe, has not been fully funded even before that.
We're wondering if we can have design.
The only thing that was needed was 15 million to proceed ahead in the base route of the planning. That's where those numbers that you're hearing are.
Right.
And the other one had to do with the 40 million and how much from Seaport Coastal Resiliency they have and how much was still pending.
Okay.
So there's two separate lines on both of them, but we would appreciate some statement on that.
We'll try to figure out advocacy and maybe try to compass one.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. Thank you.
So I have one. 5 World Trade.
Yes.
We need help getting 5 World Trade built. I mean, we got an agreement, everything was rolling along, it's been crickets. Crickets beyond crickets. We need affordable housing. It's 300 some odd units. We need help from the state to get that built. We need a push.
I agree.
Thank you.
I will push.
Thank you. We'll take everybody.
Thank you.
All right, do I have anybody else? All right, great. Thank you. So going along down the line, there is a report online that was sent from Representative Goldman's office. So if you're looking for a report from Goldman's office, it's online. I'll recognize Lisa Crosby if she'd like to speak for Assemblymember Ball today. Do you have a report that you'd like to speak out? Lisa?
There is none.
Thank you.
Lisa?
See her now?
I see her. She's moving. Hi, Lisa.
The Assemblyman does not have any reports for tonight.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, moving down.
I'm here to answer any questions or bring back any questions you may have to the Assembly member.
Just check. Fantastic. The several things you've already heard about. So we'll do a roundup. It's the bills for the Battery Park City Authority, it's funding for resiliency, and it's funding for 5 World Trade. He's been involved on all of those dialogues, and we would love an update and a push from him to get those things done. Right? Yeah.
I did mark those down. Thank you. I did mark those down. Thank you though for rehashing that.
My pleasure. Tracy from Assemblymember Glick's office. I know you're double timing.
Hello.
Hey,
I'm
Tracy.
here. Can you hear me? I'm outside of CB3. Yes, it's that kind of night. I'll be brief, and I'm so glad that Senator Kavanaugh was there because he gave a lot of my report as well. I will say we have a frustration with the bill that he mentioned, that would reduce plastic packaging. We're so glad that the Senate passed it, and so glad for his work on that as well. Deborah was still hoping right towards the last night of session that we would be able to see that go to the floor for a vote. Unfortunately, in the final weeks of session, the plastics industry spent an enormous amount of money spreading this information, and they were able to undermine the broad support that we had built through the session. It's similar to what Senator Kavanaugh just said about the food industry. We had a similar experience with the plastics and chemical industry, really trying to sabotage the packaging reduction bill. So we will be bringing that back next session. Deborah was also disappointed that the Screedree bill did not move on the assembly side. Can you still hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, we're
Good.
we're good.
Okay, so on the assembly side, it seemed to have gotten hung up in the Committee on Aging. So the assembly member is going to prioritize in late December, early January, nudging it along on our side as hopefully to get it done before the budget work starts, so it doesn't get lost for the end of session. So for any advocacy that CB1 does, and we do have your resolution, thank you. It may help to get it unstuck from the Committee on Aging. On a more positive note, Deborah was able to pass a reauthorization of the city's school zone speed camera program. That's reauthorized for another 5 years. And then, of course, the e-bike battery bill that we did with Senator Kavanaugh, we're very happy to keep those batteries out of landfills. And then I listed a few other bills in our board report, which I dropped off in person. And then locally, I'll just like to remind you that the Rent Guidelines Board has extended its deadline for comments. So now people have until June 30th if you want to weigh in on the proposed rent increases. And they have added one more public hearing in Lower Manhattan on Friday, the 27th at 10 a.m. And that is at 125 Worth Street. People are able to testify in person on rent increases. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Tracy, can you send us a flyer if you have one about the Rent Guidelines Board? So we can distribute it to anybody who would like to testify. That'd be great.
Sure. I don't really have a flyer, but I'll just pull it off our report and send it to you in an email.
I appreciate that. Any questions in the room for Deborah Glick's office?
Nope.
Hearing and seeing none online. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you stepping out. And thank you to Tracy for doing double time. And by the way, if anybody wonders, CB3 does not offer a remote option.
Oh, wow.
So you are in the room or you're not.
Correct. All right. Well, thank you all. Take care.
All right. Thanks very much, Tracy. All right. So we've done all our assembly. We've done our Senate. We've done our representatives. That brings us to the mayor's office. I believe Robin is with us. Oh, and Andrew Chang is here. Ah, okay. So first we're going to go, Robin is also at both meetings tonight. So we'll do Andrew Chang. I'll find out if Robin's coming back. And then we're going to do Peter C. from the Public Advocate's office. Go ahead.
Hi, it's Andrew from the Manborough President's office. I haven't been here in about 2 months, so red look.
Yes.
Yes.
Been going to his house since COVID, so it's my second time growing out a beard mustache.
Okay.
Yeah. FYI, okay. Anyways, so the borough president is supportive of illegal ticket vending legislation. This is Keith Powers and Councilmembers Keith Powers and Christopher Marte's legislation to reform the issues of fraud, aggressive sales tactics, and consumer deception in the ticketing industry for tours, fairs, and other attractions. And the proposed legislation will require business licenses for ticket seller operators, not just individual sellers, establish stricter penalties and allow for revocation of licenses for repeat violations, prohibit aggressive and deceptive vending tactics, and mandate clearer identification for legitimate sellers to prevent impersonation of government or official services. And then, he's also supportive of the Stop Super Speeders bill, which mandates greater speed limiter technology for the most dangerous drivers out there. And we're also marching the Pride Parade this coming Sunday as well. So if you want to march with us, let me know. Or it's pretty much yes, just let me know. And I'll just keep it at that. I mean, everything else, Tracy from Deborah Glick's office already mentioned. But any questions for me?
Any questions for Andrew Chang? Wendy?
No questions, but I'm really happy to hear about the vendor, the ticket sellers,
Yes.
Especially since the latest violence in our neighborhood. So it's sooner than, later.
Yes.
Also bravo.
Yeah.
Here, I can't help that enough. Rosa?
Is there any way we can move forward sort of quickly on the whole mental health facility? That I just loved that idea that Mark had, discovering that it was actually only 10% utilized and that we had the.
That's state, that's a
Is
state
that
facility.
fully state? Is there anything we can do to help move that?
Yeah,
forward?
I can touch, follow up with our chief of staff, Chris Carroll, on this. I know he stopped by this committee board about 3 or 4 months ago to chime
Yep.
in, but I can, follow up with him again and raise the issue.
Okay, the citywide issue, we think it's a wonderful idea, we want to support however we can to support it.
We should have asked Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
That was a missed
Are
opportunity.
they still here?
No.
No.
Yeah, we'll find it out there again.
It's quiet. But we should do, staff, can you do a follow-up letter or email to all of our state electeds to find out what the status is for the state mental health facility on Roosevelt?
Is it Roosevelt or is it Randall?
It's on Randall's Island. Sorry. All right. Thank you very much, Andrew.
Thank
you. Robin, you're next.
You're muted,
Robin, you're muted. I know it's a new update on WebEx, so it's a challenge. But let me. Nice.
So muted. Yeah,
Yeah, it's hard.
she's not trying to touch.
Did they do the list?
You got it, Robin?
Switch.
go.
Robin, while you're figuring it out, we'll have Peter in the room go and see if we can do it. Thank you, Peter.
Good evening, Peter Say from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. Thanks for all the updates from the elected. So I'm just gonna do a prosecution update. Today, we announced a guilty plea of a city contractor, Anthony Martucci, does contracting work for the New York City Housing Preservation Development Authority.
Surprise.
Withholding wages from workers. Pleaded guilty, making full restitution, and he's barred for 3 years from New York City contracts.
3 years.
That shows, the attorney's office is very concerned about the workers in the city. That's my update for tonight. Any questions that I can answer, or bring back to the office for you guys?
Anybody have any questions?
Yes.
Hearing and seeing none?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Good night. Okay. Robin's having, so everybody knows, we had a WebEx update. The app did a full push update, so there's been a lot of really interesting, fun, little tweaky differences that none of us really anticipate. So we're gonna let Robin, if she has the time to come back and she gets her audio fixed, come back at any point, and we'll continue on. So Zach, take it away with the district manager's report.
Okay. Pull up the slides. I will be quick.
Hold on, yeah.
There
Gotta go
is a couple charter revision commission hearings coming up. And the first one is for the city charter, New York City Charter Revision Commission. That's on Monday, July 7th. We had a presentation and you can hear more about it at the committee report. And the city council one is on July 1st at 5 o'clock. Next slide. And don't forget to vote if you haven't voted. Text all of your neighbors to text all of their neighbors. Political capital comes in large voting blocks. So please tell everyone to vote. They're open till 9.
And they're open till
Yes,
9.
Open till 9.
3 candidates are from RCV.
All right, next.
That's it.
All right, let's roll.
Oh, we have to move the chairs back at the end of the night.
Yeah,
The
so
exterior chairs. So any help with
every-
that, we appreciate it.
every red chair in this room has to be stacked along that back wall.
Even the ones.
Including the ones at the tables.
The ones.
No, she said yes.
We have the mention.
Let's confirm. We'll check.
Don't start moving chairs until after the votes have been finished.
Exactly, next slide. All right, we are still waiting for follow-ups from DCP regarding the POPs that was demolished at
Yeah.
77 Water.
Still
Every, oh, yeah, It's been silent.
It's alive,
Like a
just
church
waiting
mouse
to
over
figure
here.
out how to slide them towards that.
OCM, we were waiting for a response from our letter to Chair Wright, but Chair Wright is now gone with the new budget. So, yeah, we're really not sure what's happening over at OCM. It's a loss for the community because Chair Wright was actually probably the best chair that we've seen at OCM in terms of communications and transparency, so. We did take a tour of 320 Pearl. I have not heard any confirmed changes. I hear that there might be, I have not heard anything. We still need volunteers for a street parking working group, for holiday get together, Gabby's on it, and Gabby needs 2 more people to help her. So we need one more person now, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I'll be delighted. I'm so angry at parking anyway, so.
No, the party. We're gonna be doing a couple surveys.
I was so parking. Too bad.
We're gonna do a couple surveys for the board, about, how the meetings are run and some other sort of like holistic things. I'd love some help if anybody would like to work on those with me. And then the newsletter, we'd like to get back into it, having a newsletter. It's, time is right. Let's keep going. Thank you. Next. That's where I've been. Thank you to Wendy for sending photos. So Wendy Chapman, thank you very much. She went and saw EDC tabling, took lots of pictures around the Oculus, really cool stuff. If you're out and about, you're going to meetings, you're anywhere in the district, whether it's a great photo or a bad photo, please send it. Next. Pipeline, July 4th, fireworks are back on the east side. We will give you updates as soon as we have them, but please watch for updates because street closures. And yes, we have one working group meeting so far, and the very first thing that we asked for were bathrooms, which they are not planning on putting in. So I can't explain that often enough. If there's any place to speak up and say something, certainly let the city know that it's irresponsible to not put public restrooms when you're gonna allow people up onto the FDR Drive. All right, our meetings will start July 8th, which is the Tuesday after the holiday. Please take a look at agendas. Meeting dates have moved around. July 29th is the reopening of Wagner Park. Hence, we moved the full board meeting to the 30th. Important to know because we thought between resiliency, a new park, it's a huge opening. We wanted the availability for everybody to go. The 31st, I've been told, is a tentative BBJ community workshop. So there we go. Again, that's Wendy and I for some photos. So thank you very much. If you're out and about the neighborhood, there we go. We will not have meetings in August unless there is a DOT revocable consent or OCM or any other agency that sends us something past basically the full board meeting that can't wait until the end of September. Fingers crossed, it's a quiet summer. Next slide. There we go. Take photos out and about. If before the meeting you want to meet up, there's a lovely little place with those green shacks. They make some decent burgers over there. I promise you can't get burgers after the meeting because we tried last week. But that's, I'm out and about. That's my garden over in Battery Park City. So if you need some basil, come visit me. And that's at Little Island. Again, get out and about. Go do the things in the city that are so amazing. We've got tons of great stuff. And with that, I close my chair report.
You said basil?
Basil. I got basil plants. Come visit me. All right. If you were not here for the first roll call vote and you have come in afterwards, when it is time to vote on anything, you must say your last name and your vote so you can be counted orally into the attendance record. Okay, so if you missed roll call in the beginning for the minutes, this is your thing. Okay, we had a dispensary for 85 Nassau Street come. That's the first one, and then we have 2 Verzona Tribeca. It was a really busy exec last night. And then the charter revision and the dog rule change. So I'd like to, I think I can do them fairly quickly. Let's ask if there are any questions on the cannabis and the outdoor dining first. I'm gonna take those 3 together if we can. Any questions?
Called question?
Second. Fantastic. So we're gonna do a vote by affirmation on this. If you were not here before, please say your name and vote now.
Joel Copel, yes.
That was a Capel yes and a Hernandez yes. Are there anybody else who was not here before? Okay, fantastic. Hearing everyone here, it's a vote by affirmation. Are there any opposed? Are there any abstentions?
Brown County distinct from Nassau Street.
Done, thank you. And are there any recusals? Motion's passed unanimously, well, with one. Okay, thank you. All right, let's move on to the Charter Review Commission preliminary report. Are there any questions on this one? Oh. Fantastic. I like something that has no questions. All right, awesome.
Call the question?
Second.
Vote by affirmation. Are there any noes? Hearing and seeing no noes? Are there any
Abstentions.
no abstentions, no recusals? Motion passes unanimously on the charter revision. Proposed dog rules for outdoor dining. Okay, are there any questions on this one? Love that.
Call the question?
Second.
Awesome. A vote by affirmation. So this is a yes vote. Are there any noes?
Cameron, no.
So for now,
Well, I want dogs to be in these places.
We said yes.
We said yes.
Oh.
So Vicky, did you want to?
And I was there last night. I was just so upset about dogs not being in Venice.
You vote Cameron.
Yes. Yes. My apologies, madam.
Somebody else had.
Okay, Zelter, you are a no?
yeah,
Okay, Zelter, are there any other no's? Are there any, pardon?
Pat, you're not voting no?
Oh, you too.
This
There
is for
any-
the dog.
This is for-
No.
More votes no.
More of us.
Thank you. Are there any other no's?
What's wrong with dogs? I don't think I'm.
Are there any abstentions? Yo. Are there any abstentions? Hearing no abstentions, are there any recusals? Motion passes. And thank you. That was hilarious. Okay, next committee. Pat, you're up for quality of life.
Actually, Brendan.
I can do it. So the first resolution is for the screened rebill. I think this is in support of it. Just to further pass it along, we all understand the importance of it. Now I think we can actually hold these all together, so that's why we're just gonna go through them quickly. The next is 20 Broad Street, Blue Bottle Cafe, and then 408 Greenwich Street. I don't think there were any major issues. I think that largely those cafes already exist, and so they're just trying to be official. Happy to answer any questions. Yes.
On the, reso for the quality of life for the screen rebuild, the first whereas is interactive with Blue Bottle.
Okay. It's with what? Say
It
again?
says Blue Bottle.
Oh, okay.
Blue Bottle on
Sorry.
the screen rebuild.
So friendly amendment to.
That's not even friendly,
Okay,
that's
so
just
just
correcting.
Yeah.
Yeah, just take that one right off there.
Yeah.
That's a typo. Gotcha.
Betty, I saw your hand.
Betty?
Okay.
All right, the only thing that I would like to add, because we do SLA licenses off of outdoor dining, is to note that applicant is not serving alcohol. I'd like it to be noted on.
Oh,
both.
yeah.
We good with that?
Yeah.
It's on there, right?
I didn't see it.
I didn't either.
Yeah, no, it doesn't say it.
It just should
Oh, yeah,
state
yeah.
it.
Okay, so it says whereas Blue Business would not be serving alcohol.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
on the
okay.
second one.
Oh, it's on the second page.
It's on both, of the
Okay.
second pages.
Never mind. Okay, I'm good.
And are we ready to vote together?
Ted, call the question.
Second.
There you go.
Okay,
Oh, wait,
Pat?
No, I thought we were voting.
Yeah, so we're voting. We're gonna go vote by affirmation for all three bills, right? If you object to any bill or you have a different vote, you have to, much like Brown Kennedy, they've called which one your different vote is. So are there any opposed? Are there any abstentions? Are there any recusals? Whew, motion passes. Next committee. Thank you all three. Love that. Jason, you're up.
Let's take, the couple, let's take 366 Broadway and 140 West Street together. And, do we just bring up the slides, or I don't know, did I give slides? I thought I did. Some. Oh, right, so this was, like a little baby enlargement on top of this building. And it was just, I thought personally, very bland and didn't really make the building below it pop. And you can see from the right, the kind of visibility we're talking about from north on Broadway. So I think we didn't love it, and that's what the resolution, I think it's a negative resolution.
Good.
And then, the next one was, so this is, you know, it's a visible addition. You like that? Didn't vote yes, no, yes. Oh, this was a good one. This was, explain that this building was converted, to condominiums, and now, like, the person, you know, maybe that wants to buy this condominium or wants to renovate the one all the way at the top, wants to change the windows such that they're more like Juliet balconies. So change the windows that were part of this whole, where they changed every single window, whatever, 4 years ago, every window. They made a whole plan about it, did a whole thing. Now they want to change this window, and then we think they'll want to change that window, and then they'll want to change that thing. So we kind of just were like, that's not appropriate.
Well, vehemently denied it, yeah. I mean, it was destruction.
So does anyone want to speak
and
about
past
either of those
historical
kind of
building.
issues?
And questions?
Right, like, so it is not a major move, and it is possibly 300 feet away from where you would see it, but I think it sets the wrong precedent for this
yeah.
type of caliber building.
But I also want to add, that as you said in the meeting as well, you know, this is 300 feet away up in the air. It's not true. We're sitting on the 22nd floor. We're looking at an incredible courthouse, and you're looking right at the top of it, like, you know, 200, 300 feet in the air. So it can be seen, it will, in addition to just a formal move of not desecrating two windows for some personal, you know, gain.
Okay.
I think we could call it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Hold on,
You got a
before you
question?
do that, I think it has to say on here, CB one recommends that the landmark preservation request the proposal.
Oh, not just that we don't like it? We
Okay,
left it
sure,
as is.
okay.
Do you want to put the words in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we need to put that in
Amend it,
here.
yeah.
Okay.
CB one recommends that the landmarks preservation reject the proposal.
Okay. Okay,
So-
now, the next one is 250 Water Street, and I want.
No, we're gonna take these two,
Take-
and we're gonna vote on these two
Yeah.
first. So we don't mix message waters, okay? So this is for 366 Broadway and 140 West Street. Does
Yeah.
anybody have any questions?
No, I called the.
No, we called it, we seconded it. Let's go.
Okay, so Jason, you're good, all right? So this is a vote by affirmation for both resolutions, which are negative to the application. Are there any opposed to the resolutions?
Opposed to 140?
Okay, so Chang opposes 140. Okay, Zelter
The first one, where 366 Broadway.
Yeah,
and Zelter no to 366 Broadway, thank you. Are there any other no's?
That's the developer.
Gabby for 140? Gabby is a no for 140 West.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you. Are there any other no's in the room?
Does know.
She goes long.
Yes.
Okay, chitter chatter over there. You're right. All right, are there any other no's in the room? Are there any abstentions? Hearing and seeing no abstentions, are there any recusals? Thank you, motion passes. Okay,
okay, so
Now
250 Water Street needs a little explaining, in the room,
But there's
for sure.
We don't have.
Oh, here's 17,
It's
okay,
here.
sorry.
Drama.
Okay, here 17.
Just say.
In the room, I want to clarify, I said that I was gonna write a positive resolution, and the tone of this is definitely negative. And I want to reorganize it so that I make good on that, what I said. And I'm definitely very much in the middle here, and there were maybe 4 or 5 people in the room that night, and I felt very uncomfortable about expressing my opinion about this for everybody that's, you know, sits in this community. So, the basics of it are,
Don't kill yourself so
Okay,
badly.
the basic-
Because, don't kill yourself, and I'm gonna tell you why, because I ended up listening to the entire thing in the car ride home today. Yay. And you actually said that you were going to write a positive, but you were going to cite all the things that people did not find
That's
pleasing.
correct.
So it was, what you did is not necessarily holistically like non-representative, it just probably needs clarification.
Okay, so I'm gonna clarify the big points of what is happening here. And that is that we have in front of us a way to, you know, condition the space for about 110 days, where Howard Hughes or whomever, you know, whoever operates this thing would erect a temporary shed, building, whatever it is, at this point, to the base of it is 50 feet tall. And it's gonna very much look like a permanent structure because it's gotta be that robust in its structuralness and the peak roof and all that. There was a lot of controversy about enclosing the roof when this permission was granted to rebuild this pier.
Correct.
And if you like that controversy or not, whatever. And so there's that, and otherwise, you know, this is about how it's going to look in relationship to the pier and how it's gonna look in relationship to whatever you think is historical in that vicinity. And so we're going to adjust the resolution to conclude with a recommendation to approve, because in that room, there were only 4 people and it pretty much went towards approval. And if you don't like it, you should vote no on some sort of resolution that we should just immediately kind of craft into a positive or something. Vicky?
So I just.
Do you want more slides?
And I don't know, George, did I misrepresent? Do you want to, do you have an opportunity to kind of say something and?
He has to be
Yeah.
recognized by the chair.
Okay.
All right, hold on a second. Hold on a second. This is controversial. We are trying to get to a point that we are not here till 10 o'clock at night.
Yes.
Just so everybody knows.
No.
While the applicants are normally not allowed to speak during the business session unless recognized by the chair, we did invite George and Lucy to the board meeting tonight to be able to bring this to the larger group. There were 3, 4, 5, 6 people at Landmarks. But this is, the ideal goal was that we could get through it tonight and not have them have to come back to have another resolution and a further discussion in July. That we could be a one and done in tonight's meeting. So before we go down that road, after listening to it, I think that the resolution reads both positive and negatively, which reflects the meeting really well. But what doesn't reflect as well is the steps to take, right? And so if this was a positive resolution, which it was supposed to be coming out of committee with concerns of things that they wanted changed that they didn't like, that needs to be represented here. We need to have that first before George and Lucy have an opportunity to reply to those concerns raised. So that's the one thing that I would like you and the committee to do for the board.
Okay. So George, you want to go? I mean,
No.
Not going. Okay, so Vicky.
Not yet.
And then.
Jesus, man.
So what are the concerns?
So in the committee, when this was presented, for example, this image, I think is constructed to get all of us to understand and feel warm and fuzzy. It's not a big intervention, but in fact it is. At the hip, it's 50 feet high. That's a 5-story building. So this roof gets a set, right? Now with the, it's a hut, right? There's a zoning floor area, this building is built. They have come up with these ideas, both now 365 practically, to create an additional floor, right? And that creates additional revenue for them. And every idea they have is presented, oh, it'll help the community so much. And we were saying in the meeting that, you know, a lot of the stuff that this operator provides for downtown is very expensive. The tin house, which we supported and listened to, is so prohibitively expensive that normal people just can't go. I mean, the flower shop closed. You know why, people? It was $20 a flower. Anyway, so a couple of things for it, to sum up. We had the issue, it was way too high, but they have technical difficulties of accommodating the stage, and you know what, that's their problem, right? We're not here to resolve this. They have now essentially turned an entire floor of a building as additional zoning floor area, which was not part of the building and the approval. And additionally, almost all members, whether they were in favor or not, recognize that this is kind of an iconic image of New York City. And, 3 months or whatever it is, a year, we're going to have this, this shed, this is now rendered in black. That is not what I recall it. And did you bring it in black when you showed it in the rendering? Yeah, no.
I'm gonna try.
It looked more like a farm-like thing that I kept referring to, should be somewhere in Pennsylvania. It was not sophisticated in the city enough. So our point was that throughout the whole meeting, especially mine, was that we should bring this controversial project, right? We've had some serious run-ins with this organization. I'm not interested in who's funding it now. After 250, it just broke all of us. And so my point was, would we please bring this to the full board tonight so that everyone can contribute and have a say, rather than, 6 people that just happen to be at that meeting tonight. And that's why the resolution is sort of teeter-tottering, because I especially wanted our input on a 50-story addition, 5 floors.
Pat?
So it's a separate issue. One of the issues in the very, very beginning when this project was proposed, the bathrooms were supposed to be public. And now, since I don't know when, the bathrooms are closed whenever there's a concert going on. If this is now gonna be a 365-day-a-year space, the public bathrooms are gonna be closed. So I'm opposed to that. I want the bathrooms to be public bathrooms. There are very few public bathrooms over there. There are people over there all of the time. The bathrooms need to be open.
Let's let him respond. Okay, Susan?
I just want to understand something. This is 365 days of the
No,
year.
110, right?
Put the picture back on.
We're working on pulling up the
I
presentation.
think the 365 is referring to the fact that they are gonna have activities all year, at least that would be up.
And there is the shed. There's the black shed and
Go
also.
back to the picture with the black, please, Anesh. It says temporary winter concert enclosure. What does that mean?
Legally, the permit, you can't have it up for more than 6 months, correct? Yeah, it's temporary.
So they have to take that all down and it goes flat, empty roof again.
After 6 months.
And then they take that up.
No, I don't think that's true.
It's all interpretation. It's a serious question. It's all interpretation of what is a temporary structure.
No.
And developers run around with this idea like crazy.
No, it says 110 days in this
Yeah,
thing.
it's
We're
6
gonna
months, as long as you can have it up.
Yes,
Can you put,
the first whereas.
And I asked the question, just saying, how do they take it down? What
It
happens?
gets disassembled. It's like a mechanics.
Oh, so
So don't worry about that.
That's, they have to do that.
I see a lot of hands. Okay,
all right, sorry, we have, if you need to see more of the presentation, because we do have the view corridors from them, and we do have, the proposed modifications for what they're showing.
let's hear 3
So,
more or 4 more comments
I'm
on
gonna
how
go-
tall it is or how big it is or what it looks like, not
That's
about, I
Oh,
like Pat's comment, but we are.
That's
now-
why I want to get the
We are the
elevations
landmarks
up that they
committee.
sent. We're gonna go Brendan and then around the room this way.
That was gonna be my question, which is like, why does it have to be 50 feet? Why can't it be
Because of
40,
the
30?
stage.
To accommodate
The stage has a certain
ongoing
height.
inside.
AV and
And it should be, they're being reasonable with what needs to be in there to make a production.
Yes, Madam Chair. go
I'm actually gonna go as part of just a member around the room. One of the concerns that I have from watching the video is when the proposed modifications are shown in not the tent dimensions, but if you look at slide 17 that they have, and all the other slides, it's actually shown as a clear top. It's not shown as a black top, which is the first one. And the clear top is far less, as you can tell from behind me, that's far less imposing, far less blocking, and gives you a little bit more of an open sort of view and less blotting out of the sky. So that for me is a far more attractive, but that's not what they're
I was gonna
doing.
ask you, so what are they doing?
What they're doing is the photo that they had before, which was the black top. So my concern about everything that they showed in the presentation is it all looks like it's nice and clear and beautiful, but it's not, because the photo that Jason had chosen shows, black top.
Can we ask which one it is?
It's the blacktop.
So I find, so for me, I look and I say, I find the presentation very not representative of what it actually is. So that's mine. We're gonna go around the room this way. We'll get there. Rosa, you're next, and then you're next.
I have a thought. Whenever I go there and, I
Oh, and
actually
I like.
utilize the, ground space, frankly, the pier level, way more than going up to the top. I almost never do that. And sorry, but I didn't go skating there, the last few years. I guess my point though is that every time that you come to the community board, there's something that I feel, consistently gets brought up, which is the bathrooms, the public restrooms. I'm wondering if there's any way we could do a trade-off where there could be ground floor level bathrooms that the public can utilize all the time. You have an incredible maintenance crew that takes care of the entire development. And so bathrooms would be an easy fold-in. I make no recommendations as to any particular location other than that be accessible on the ground floor and accessible to the public, whether or not there's a concert going on. I feel like that would actually be a great, trade-off to sort of say, frankly, I mean, personally, I don't utilize the roof that much. When I go for the view of the Brooklyn Bridge, I'm on your north deck, right? I mean, the view is fabulous. You've got loads of seating there. I think that would be an incredible way to sort of say, this is something that the public desperately needs, and it would be an amenity to the entire community. And we actually want you to be busy year round. I mean, I think that the fact that people are here and that business is thriving and that people are spending money makes our community alive. And personally, living in FiDi, I know that I have had so many businesses directly around my building close. There's storefront after storefront after storefront that is empty. It has an impact on what is going on, how many eyes are on the street.
I got you.
Because we have.
Yeah. No.
Are we arguing about aesthetics or are we saying we don't want to be open year round?
I think we're just providing comments and we're gonna let them. We're providing comments, we're gonna let them, because the key that happened in the meeting was there were concerns raised. But the concerns aren't necessarily detailed through here. It was a positive resolution because in general, they supported the idea of having something year round. But there are issues that were not overcome at the meeting. So we're trying to get to the point to have it be reflective, and the concerns at the meeting were the 30 people who are here tonight are gonna be far more representative of the community. So if that's the way that's going, if you look at the first, therefore be it resolved says there's concerns. The second one says they're interested and we support the 365, so we're cleaning it up. And we're gonna have them, after we go over.
Landmark preservation, 365, their business motto and all that other stuff is not our concern. I'm gonna send you what Landmark Preservation Commission actually looks at, and it is the aesthetics. What this ginormous thing will do to our.
Temporary.
You are long-winded.
It doesn't matter.
All right, hold on, Gabby, stop, Vicky, stop.
My question is relative to. Is it worth arguing over keeping the arts open year round in our community, which is positive, over an aesthetic program that we don't necessarily love, but maybe we can offer some suggestions for? And a stupid question, but I assume this is all high wind weather tested. It's
Yeah.
the best possible construction to allow us the arts year round.
Yeah, they would not do it.
How about we limit the debate? After we get a couple of these people.
Second.
Oh, much less than that.
Like 5 minutes?
Yeah, 5 minutes.
No.
Okay, no.
2 minutes is fine, because
Okay. All right,
you
whatever.
brought it back here.
Okay,
Yeah.
second.
I mean,
Somebody,
took less than
second.
just someone in Iran.
I'm gonna second that motion to limit the debate to 10 minutes. Everybody gets 1 minute for a question. Gabby, go.
Oh, do they have to ask us for approval for this?
Yes.
Of course.
I was just It's only up for 6 months.
Yes,
Andrew, the year, 100.
November.
What I understand.
November to
The
March.
purpose of this proposed structure is to extend the use of that space, not change how it has been.
Correct.
correct.
Yeah.
So it's not really adding a floor. It's just they're adding a cover to extend.
The question starts to become as to whether or not it would end up being year round, even though it's not intended to be now, it kind of starts to have a,
Permanence to it.
you know, a,
Yeah, Landmarks does not get concerned with program, remember? They
Yeah.
told us.
but they do for economic development. That's what's.
Well, landmark preservation.
Yeah.
And the historical flavor of staying, rather than monetizing every inch of it, it really doesn't really come back
Vicky?
to us.
Next. Who was next around the table? Vincent.
All right, so I'm trying to get some clarification.
Mhm.
So when it was glass, we didn't have a problem with it. Now that it has a black roof, we have a problem with it.
Well, no, that's my comment. My comment was all the pictures that they showed, that showed how it would fit contextually into the neighborhood, it was all glass. But the reality is, the pictures don't match because it's not all glass, it's black. So it does block out
I think it would be better that way because,
black
you
or
have
black.
neighboring buildings and I've driven by there and they have concerts, there's lights all over the place. So I would think that that black roof would block all that.
Also, it feels like it would be a greenhouse.
It'd be quite very nice. It's the cold falls.
It sounds like Cody.
Okay, let's keep hearing people, let's go around.
The roof reminds me more of Austin instead of New York City. I don't think aesthetically it's that attractive. And I don't understand what that, I mean, have they explored, for instance, like amphitheater, open air all year round, and torches or whatever it is, the heaters outside, couldn't be an option?
They're gonna have to answer, I think the answer was no, based on the winds up there, and I think, but
Broccoli's good, isn't it?
George, can you answer that? Have you looked at other opportunities that not include?
Yeah. We want to order.
Say that louder. George, you need to stand, please. Sorry.
That out, sorry, but yeah.
It's okay.
It's hard to fix it.
If you're gonna have a concert series, right? We're planning 30 days, for 10 days, yeah. You can't be open to the weather, just not. I sent a memo to Jason, copied Tammy yesterday, that discussed the reasons why or the issues that have impacted the design of the tent. Your stage in a general admission setting, where people are standing for a concert, is recommended to be 5 feet high.
Okay.
Around so that everyone can see. The stage rig, the lighting rig above the stage is supposed to be 20 feet above that. So we started 5 feet above that at the edges of the tent. You cannot have a flat tent in a snow-prone area. The tent has to be pitched. The pitch of the tent is dictated by a number of factors, most importantly, the structure that you can withstand on the roof. And, the amount of column spacing you want, obviously, in a concert venue, you want the best column spacing you can have. And that's why the tent is as high as it is.
So just hang on, George, because that's enough of an answer for Cody for that.
Is that good?
All right, move it, hold on, nope, we're going around the table, everybody goes once. Jeff, and then Mimi, because I don't see any other hands over this one. And then Pat.
I'm supportive of the application. I think the sense of this room as well as of community is that it's a good thing to have it activated year round. It's a good thing for Pier 17 to be successful. From a landmarks perspective, it's an aesthetics issue, but this particular thing, if I understand it, is not landmark. The pier obviously itself is not historic.
It's a landmark district.
I understand that, but the pier itself is a modern structure. There's no historic aspect to Pier 17, period, at all.
Correct.
The roof to me does not look out of character to the pier itself. I don't think it affects negatively the historic district in which it sits. So I'm in favor of it.
Thank you. Mimi?
Is there still going to be ice skating in the winter?
Certainly not on the roof. We haven't determined if we would permit plaza again.
Okay, and will there still be public space on the roof that
Yeah.
we had talked about previously? All right.
We're at the 4-minute mark.
Okay.
The tent will be,
Pat?
the tent will be, just to add, I'm sorry, Ken.
Yeah.
To add, the tent will be open on the day of service.
Great.
Pat?
Tents open on the days.
Okay, so that has to be changed in the resolution, because we mentioned wanting to have public free access space, and he's saying that we're gonna have that, right, George?
Then, sorry.
Thinking like Winter Garden, like the space that's generally public, if there's not some sort of private event, I could come and have a coffee under that tent.
And then, and we can go to the bathroom.
And we can go to the bathroom as much as you want, whatever government.
Stop. That's Pat. Pat, Santiago, and then I have two people online. Santiago, you okay?
Let's have this bathroom issue. So we still have a problem with the bathroom that it doesn't open when you have concerts. Now you want to increase the days or the times or the amount of times the bathroom will be closed. What do you gotta say to me, George?
Yes.
When we came to the community board in March, we raised this issue. We should put something there.
I can't hear
Speak
you.
up, please. Promise you it's something. We want to.
People on the next.
It's been going. Promise me.
I think the problem, George, is this is the problem that the community board was sold, that there are public restrooms on Pier 17. Period. End of statement. Before concerts, before everything. When the concert started, there was bathroom access that was provided when those bathrooms were closed, but they belonged to the restaurants that are there, which caused problems with that end of the building.
Correct.
Then there were no bathrooms. And we went and you walked and you were told, well, go take a look a couple piers down, maybe there's restrooms there. You're not even directed to the Tin Building to go use the public restrooms. So the problem is not new. I'm glad you're looking at it, but this is gonna be the one thing that I'm feeling like a ridiculously broken record for the public. It is the seaport. We don't want people peeing on the side of the building.
Or in the water.
But I personally don't wanna vote on this unless I get a guarantee, because it's been years, George. Well, cool, so you can guarantee that the bathrooms are gonna be open.
Could you find a way to provide, I mean, we're gonna have to put something in here about the bathrooms anyway.
Yeah.
But can you, because he's not giving us an answer, so that's the answer.
All right, let's go. But that's
All right, hold on, Laura, and then Joe, and then Paul.
Well, I'm just gonna say from a landmarks perspective, I think the black roof is really awful. I think it's inappropriate for the neighborhood, and I think it's eclipsing the views of the Brooklyn Bridge. It's like taking away this major community asset, which is viewing the Brooklyn Bridge. So I think it's problematic. I also will say from the point of view of having been the head landscape architect in Central Park when the restaurant at the lake, the boathouse, put a similar tent up and called it temporary. It never went away. So I'm just telling everybody it's here to stay. Like, you know, I can't imagine this is going to come down. So I think, you know, I think if this is something that we, for some reason, are going to have to live with, I think it should be more transparent. And I think we should insist on other benefits for the community, like the bathrooms and roof access and, you know, all the things that we want, because I think this is basically adding a new huge outdoor view blocking space.
Thank you, Laura. Joe, you're next. After everybody goes online, I'm gonna have George reply. Joe Lerner.
He's muted.
Joe?
Joe, we can't hear you. Joe, how is it we can't unmute you?
Should I just go next?
No,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can have you.
Yeah, go ahead. Paul,
Okay,
go ahead.
okay, I just want clarity about this temporary structure does that mean it's going to be up? We're only approving it for this one period of time from November 25 through mid-March 26? And is it physically going to be removed after that? And if they want it beyond that, will they have to apply again?
I think only George can answer that.
George,
Yes.
do you,
So I said it at the presentation. I'll say it again. We've already had conversations with LPC about it. When you go for a master plan approval for LPC, which this is, they are specific about the dates, it's up and down. We then provide them with, and we're working on it now, providing them with the cost of the removal of the tent. And then we are, as part of LPC's approval, we'll ask you to put that money in escrow so that they can access it if you don't take it down. That's the way it works.
And to follow up on it, what's the duration of the permit that we're gonna approve or disapprove today? How many years?
We just set it, right?
No, but like, you're not gonna come back, yeah,
Master plan where
It's forever.
Forever.
okay, forever, that's the answer.
Well, that's my question. Is it going to come down after one season or not?
No, it's gonna go back up if we.
it's gonna come down, fall, and it will go back up next November.
it will come down every season and go up every season.
It'll come down
But
in
not,
April.
but not be re-examined every year. Okay.
Correct. Once it's approved, we're a one and done. Joe, did you fix your audio?
I got it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. This is an organization you cannot trust.
Goodness.
Initially, the community was to get much more space on the roof, and they kept taking away space all the time. Number two, as far as the bathrooms, they're gonna close them and open them up as they please. You can't trust these guys. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Joe.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, he's
All right,
been
is there
here
anybody
25
else?
years.
I see no other hands online other than the three who have spoken. Is there anybody else in the room who has not been heard? Lucy, welcome. Please introduce yourself, because George took the.
Thank you. I'm Lucy Fado. I'm the general counsel of Seaport Entertainment Group. George is one of my colleagues. Thank you for having us here tonight.
How much time?
I just want to say a couple of things. First of all, I just want to clarify that we are Seaport Entertainment Group. We are not Howard Hughes. They spun us off last summer. We are a standalone public company listed on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol SEG. So we would appreciate it if you addressed us as Seaport Entertainment Group and not Howard
Are they
Hughes.
the same investors? Simone.
No.
Let's not do a back.
Let's not-
on that.
No, she's making a point. I'm a co-chair. I'm allowed.
I'm going to answer that
So,
question. And the answer is no. It was a tax-free spinoff, and so on day one, all of the Howard Hughes shareholders received shares of Seaport Entertainment Group. We trade on the New York Stock Exchange. Many investors have traded.
And you can't give us toilets either, right?
I'm sorry?
And you cannot give us toilets, public toilets either.
Okay,
Because
well,
there's
our
something.
predecessor company has invested $1 billion in the Seaport
Yeah,
over the last decade.
for their benefit, yes. we like-
And it's not for the benefit.
This is, all right, Lucy,
I'm just trying to answer her
Yeah.
questions.
let's, we're not gonna get into a pissing match back and forth, and I'm sorry to call it that, about who owns this, who owns that. They're Seaport Entertainment Group. The presentation brought to us is by Seaport Entertainment Group. This is about the landmarks thing. It's about the bathrooms, which are related because it is a part of the conversation, no matter
Okay,
how much money.
Back, Tammy,
But
I
it's
guarantee there were no bathrooms here. So let's just put this nonsense.
Okay, okay.
Sorry.
We have public bathrooms there that were promised to the public. They are not open to the public whenever you have a concert. That is the change that was made when the concert started and the activation on the roof happened. Okay, when you had the ice skating rink open, the public bathrooms were open. But when you have a concert, due to your security needs, the bathrooms are closed. During setup, and then breakdown. So it is not one of those things that is one of the things, bathrooms are a major health crisis in Lower Manhattan. And the entire area is operated by Seaport Entertainment Group. You have to find a solution for it. It's just not okay to then say, we're gonna close the roof more often and we're not going to address the bathrooms, when it is a constant thing we've talked about for years with your predecessors. And one of the first things that we talked about when you guys came in, it was always a topic. This is not something unknown. And when Landmarks is looking at something, we're not talking about not supporting you for economic development, but what we're talking about is finding balance for the public.
Right.
Who need to go use the restrooms, who might be hanging out on the patios downstairs, who might be someplace else in the building. That's the problem.
Okay, so that is a much more constructive conversation to have. And it would be nice if we could have those kinds of conversations.
We have been having them on and off with whoever would be willing to talk to us for years before you got here.
The way that message has been delivered is the way some of the messages have been delivered tonight.
Let's
I
not
can
argue about
understand
semantics.
why people did
No,
not
that's
do
not
what
fair.
they did.
That's not fair. You didn't hear how it was delivered in years past. And you were assuming that we are saying something that's new because you are new. This is a conversation that we have had for years. And I understand if it's a different entity, but the bathroom issue has got to be
Okay.
addressed.
Have you talked to the city about the bathroom issue?
Yes.
Yes, and they sent us back to you guys.
Okay, well, that was very nice of them to do.
But you are the leaseholder, which is why it comes back to you guys. The EDC says, talk to the leaseholder. So we do talk to the leaseholder. So it's not as if this is a new conversation, it's an old one. But let's stop there because I hear the buzzes and the ringing. We're
Yes.
getting back to the resolution. The premise from the committee was a positive resolution for some tent, right? And there were concerns raised where it says, okay, so we need to put what the concerns are if we're gonna still support this as came out of committee. The bathrooms are the concerns in there that we put them in there.
But I'd like to say something. I personally don't want to vote on this unless the bathrooms are addressed.
Well,
Pat, we have a landmarks,
You tell me no, but I'm saying, this is my.
you can oppose it,
That's correct.
but I am telling you, this is a landmarks application and landmarks is not looking at bathrooms. They can, because it's part of an economic development package that we're talking about. So we are putting it in here that this is a bathroom crisis that should be solved. Because by allowing the tent,
I'm gonna oppose.
it's 110 days less of that public restrooms, potentially. Okay,
Susan Cole has a comment.
Desi has
So
not spoken.
are we making an amendment to include that concern?
The therefore be it resolved should list all the things. It shouldn't just say with a design that pretends to try and win over the neighborhood, blah, 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 blah.
No, we're gonna skip all that. We're gonna say with a design that includes bathroom access.
Well,
and then 3 other things that people came
So
up with.
the bottom one would say, Community Board 1 supports the concept with changes and remains very interested in activating the pier, right? And the rest of it goes along
Yeah.
with that, right? The bathrooms are a big thing that we talk about, and the concerns are by closing in the roof for 110 more days, it also eliminates access to the bathrooms. And that it should not be, and that has to be fixed, period.
Laura's point
Okay.
can be raised.
Now, the question on the aesthetics, right? Somebody said, Jeff said it didn't bother him. Somebody else said they thought it was a little too modern.
Well, it's obstructing the views to the Brooklyn Bridge, which is a major community asset.
So we need to put that concern there about the obstruction of the views. I would like to put in there the fact that every single one of the view corridors that they show are clear, and yet it's not going to be. So the structure that you're proposing has a black roof, but all of the view corridors shown are clear. And that doesn't match, and therefore, we'd like to see a different treatment than the black. Quite frankly, it doesn't make a difference. They have lights there anyway. The lights are there all summer. So what difference is if it's clear versus black, right? It's no different than it is in the summertime. And we don't hear a bucket of complaints that people have lights shining in their windows.
Question, If the difference between a yes or a vote or no vote to the addition or the temporary tent, whatever, is, hinges on black versus clear, would you care strongly?
I think,
Production issue.
we couldn't put a glass roof on this.
Okay.
Of the week. So.
It's not glass anyway.
Is
it really glass?
Sides are glass.
Yeah.
But the top doesn't have to be a black canvas. It could
Yeah.
The top could be white, it could be, the top could be clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
clear. That's what we're
I don't
looking
think that's
for.
very
It-
We're looking.
Where's
for-
it, where does this get stored in the winter? I mean,
Laura,
when you're,
None of our business.
Laura, we're not gonna care about where they need to store it, how that's theirs to deal with. We're
I
only
just want to know that they're actually really gonna store it. I'm not convinced it's ever leaving once it's up. It looks like a very solid, involved structure.
Laura, it's
No.
already, stop. It's already been determined that it has to come down. So we're going to have a little bit of faith in what they're saying, that it has to come down. So
Okay.
we're going with that.
Discussion and debate is way over the time
Right.
that we.
Right.
So we've got bathrooms. The question becomes on clear versus black.
I think no one is gonna vote on that issue. I mean, I see, it's like clear, black, red, yellow. That's not what his issue
Yeah.
is. That's not what
Yeah,
my
right.
issue is.
Laura's issue is
Okay,
it's
that's
confused
a
why
bulk- that's a bulk issue.
The obstruction of the views.
Yeah, I
is
think
Laura's
obstruction of the
issue,
view is
and that,
reasonable.
they have to solve that in some way. That's not for us to decide the color or how,
Right.
but how do you resolve what
Right.
Laura is talking about, which
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah.
As a practical matter, whether it's clear or not, the view is still obstructed. Doesn't
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. It is obstructed no matter what you do because the clear will be reflective and still obstruct.
You heard, and also, can you gamut it?
Okay, so the concerns that were listed, the bathrooms,
Quick question. Relative to obstructing view, I go to show there all the time. There's an omnipresent stage there that's obstructing the view year round, in theory. Do we know how much larger this is than the largest?
yeah, significantly.
Yeah.
And it's wider and larger, so they're enclosing all of the event space with the black rooftop. That's what the photo was. So yes, the view is far more.
So discussion and debate are over, and we should just be talking about what the resolution is gonna be. Because we agreed to that.
Agreed.
Seconded.
All right, so again, this is about the bathrooms. This is about height and bulk concerns that the presentation showed clear, not black. And that black is not a color.
Misleading, yeah.
It's misleading, and that we would like to see something that has less obstructive of the views. The differences don't match in the slides. We support the concept with changes and remain interested in activating the pier. And we move on from there. Okay?
Second.
All right. So again, this is all in favor. All right? If it gets woolly, we'll roll call it, unless you want to roll call it from the start.
I think we should roll call.
Roll call.
Okay, all right, but can you explain what?
This is exactly what you passed in committee. It is a resolution that supports it with changes. Because what we don't like, we want them to do something. We'd like them to be able to have economic development on the pier. We don't like the height, the bulk, the dark black, because it doesn't match also the presentation that they showed us. It obscures more views, and the bathrooms are the major
What did you
issue.
write about the bathroom?
What are we writing? Whereas, okay, oh, and we have to put public space, whereas, applicant has affirmed that when there are no concerts, the space will be open to the public. That's one other thing that gets on here. And it says, CB1 is highly, I don't think highly concerned says it enough.
No.
CB1 objects to further restricted access to the bathrooms and supports this only if bathrooms are added to provide public restrooms on an alternate floor when concerts are in session.
Can you always refer to them either as bathrooms or public restrooms?
Public restrooms,
Yeah.
got it.
Open to the public.
Open
Can we
to
get
the
all
public.
24 gallon?
Be clear, right?
Yes.
And
Open to the
consistent.
public.
Public restrooms open to
Thank you,
public.
Tammy. That's
Okay.
At all times.
You ready, Mimi?
Yeah, during the concerts. I mean, because it's open otherwise. All right,
We're voting.
we're voting. So this is positive to affirm that we want it with all of the concerns that are in condition. Hit it.
I'm going to go backwards to give Mark some time to think. He looks thinky right now.
Okay.
Zelter.
Sorry, can I ask a question about how I think I'm voting?
Yes.
So my concern about one of the clauses that we're concerned with blocking views. It doesn't sound solvable to me, given what I heard from George.
That is up to the,
I don't like that clause in the, how do I
It's-
vote? How I-
you abstain if you don't like it, or you say no. But if you say no, that also means you're not supporting them having a tent. Because there is a way that they can figure that out, but that's not up for us. George is not gonna sit here and sell it. They have an incredible crew of people and they can figure it out.
It doesn't give them a way to figure it out.
No, you're not.
But I'll vote yes, because I'd like to see them get.
Okay.
Okay. Townley?
I don't say Townley.
No, he's not here.
No.
Okay, you gotta change a Thompson.
Thompson, abstains.
Song, Bearson?
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, wait, oops. Jimmy Song. Star.
I vote no.
This will get.
John Scott, also not here. Rossi.
Yes.
Thank you. Robinson.
Yes.
Rios.
Yes.
Thank you. Portia Corey. It's not here. Pat Moore.
No.
Thank you. Meltzer.
Come back.
Lyon.
Yes.
Thank you. Lerner.
Lerner, no.
Thank you. Capel.
Capel, no.
Thank you. Canal.
Not here.
Nope. Okay. Thank you. James, also not here. Hernandez.
Yes, Hernandez, yes.
All right. Goldstein.
Goldson abstains.
Portia Corey's not here. Scalloway.
Galloway, yes.
Thank you. Froman.
No.
Thank you. Friedman.
Friedman, yes.
Thank you. Flynn, yes. Flores.
Flores abstains.
Kucha.
Kucha, no.
Corman.
Yes.
Cole.
Oh, yes.
Charcudian.
Mhm.
Chapman.
Yes.
Thank you. Chang.
Chang recused.
Cassell.
Cassell, yes.
Hughes?
Abstain. Cameron.
Cameron abstain.
Brown Kennedy.
I thought with the back, she was here.
Oh, okay. Arden.
Yes.
All right. And so, Meltzer.
Yes.
What's it best
Elton, what did you say? Yeah.
So I mean, it passes.
It passes.
All right, you'll never hear, you'll never get those back.
There you go. There's a woman, 27 years.
All right, hold on. Reading the vote. Go.
What? Oh, it's 17 in favor, 6 opposed, 4 abstain, 1 recused.
Passes.
17 in favor.
Yeah, 1 or 2.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. but-
Yes, thanks.
Been years with the back.
So it passes. You've heard everything. The biggest thing that the community has asked for since day 2 of the concert is something that is absolutely solvable by SCG. And we implore you to do that. Public
Yes.
restroom access.
Well, your best chance at bathroom is George.
Well, clearly.
Yep, we know that. That's why I'm repeating it and saying it again and again.
We put faith in.
And George, you were able to do it years ago, the best championship.
All right,
That's the guts.
listen.
All right, let's go. Let's go,
All right,
guys.
licensing.
Licensing. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, George. Thank you,
Thank
Lucy, for
you.
coming. Lucy, thank you for coming. George, thank you for coming. We look forward to seeing you over there. Thank you.
License.
Licensing. If you've read them.
Oh, no, not yet.
So environmental,
Oh,
Wendy, you're
sorry.
up for a report.
6 minutes.
Sorry, Wendy.
No, it's perfectly fine. I think in the effort, in the interest of time, we will, I mean, there, I was gonna say, we have a document we talked about, we have a lot of things, going on. You can see the meeting, there's no resolution. We talked about the lead, paint earlier, next.
The only question is
I was gonna
this public? This is the answer. The BPCA printed 100 pages of the answers to the questions, and this is public where? On our website or theirs?
Both.
Oh, it's in the DEIS.
But the one thing that we do need to do as a follow-up from the Environmental Protection Committee meeting is do written feedback that we received at that meeting. So if you have anything, because there were new designs and new things shown that we had never seen before. So if you have comments, take a look at the new designs at the back of the FEIS. We'll be sending a letter. Before the BPC committee, we were told we had to send one.
That is true. And then, construction, could start as soon as November, December of this year, just to let everyone know. And then the other piece of it is, which in the earlier, Wagner Park is opening. And, instead of going to the CB1 meeting on the Tuesday, come to the park and celebrate the opening of the
Yes.
park with Tammy.
Because our meeting is now Wednesday.
Exactly, because Tammy very kindly moved the meeting like that. So I hope everyone comes on Tuesday, and it's not, and it's not 100 degrees.
Thank you. Licensing?
Thank you. If you read them all, and vote yes, we're a go. This was no controversy, or whatever it was we resolved. It's one of our easier nights. How do you like that?
So if anybody has a question, or no questions, I will call.
There are no questions?
So, whoa, let's say we're taking everything in licensing
Yes.
together.
Yes.
Hold on, who's got the last rosa?
Adequate bathrooms?
Yeah.
Adequate bathroom.
Lovely.
We ask.
Love
And if there, we don't ask, Pat's there, somebody's, if I don't ask, there's somebody
She's
there.
the punny boo.
Okay, so taking all of that together, did I have a call to question? and a-
Yes.
Yes.
And
Okay.
second.
Fantastic. Are there any opposed?
Thompson opposes 145 West Broadway.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Are there any other in opposition to any resolutions? Fantastic. Are there any abstentions? Any recusals? Motion passes. Okay, transportation, Betty.
Can you?
Congratulations.
It's okay, we're still rolling. Say 28, we're good.
Anish, does she have slides?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Looking for slides.
The first one is talking about the super speeder bill, and this was really just supporting the two pieces of legislation and asking the governor to sign what is passed in the Assembly and the Senate. In fact, the Senate did pass it.
So, yeah.
Do you want to see all the resolutions together?
Go through it as quick as you can so we can do them together. That would be great. Thank you, Betty.
Same with the Michael Hudson, again, we talked about this last month, on to the next one. This is dealing with, this is what the cross stocking is, the trucks unloading and reorganizing packages on the streets. This is the problem we're trying to solve, the DOT is trying to solve, and they came back to it and they gave us some suggestions. Did the DOT, and that's what the committee responded to, which is, it's very long and there are two tables talking about it. So this came down to, you'll see multiple steps here. This supports the whole idea of micro hubs. Next. We did, there are only a couple of them that will have any reservations about, and there's still options to the location. With any that are actually, going to be in. Only 1 to 2 will be implemented, so this large lumber can be very misleading to people that don't be distracted. There only be 20 of them in the whole city. These were 2 of them that were very specifically approached as not in the sickest locations, but close by areas that were curbside on both of these areas.
So for these brainstorming, are these coming from the committee? The brainstorming locations that you've got here?
There are 2 tables. First table, it talks about, it's the DOT that put forward those suggestions. And then the next column is CB response to them from the committee.
Yeah.
The second table are outright suggestions that rose from the committee to be considered by the DOT, which we were also asking.
I don't understand your answer. I'm sorry to be so.
So the first table is DOT's
Generated, yes.
generated with the community board's response. The second one is a table that is generated by the community board.
Correct.
Which isn't this one, but the boxes. They're
both.
They're all boxes.
That's the first, got it, okay. The second one is community board.
Right, and it says,
I'm
spent
sorry.
a lot of time on this, the community.
Yeah.
It was not like mentioned to the committee because things were hammered out.
This is the key.
Yes.
Are there people from all these areas who were at the committee?
Did French people come to object to different ones?
Yeah.
Supportive on one location.
There were people on the committee that spoke to various areas that were local to them.
Okay, thank you. Rosa and then Mitch.
So you can see those are the last 2 parts that it contained those.
Betty, I had a quick question on the location on Liberty Street near William Street. It says the south side of Liberty Street near William Street is not opposed. I was curious, where exactly is it? Because on the south side of Liberty Street, as far as I know, there isn't actually a lot of space. So I was wondering where's,
It's a parking lot.
oh, on the street, not on the sidewalk. It's all on the. Ah, okay, thank you very much for that clarification.
These are in fact, not only the parking lane, but they're usually commercial parking.
Got you.
I just want to say it was a lot of work
Okay, yeah.
by this group.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like.
You have a question about it being a
I have
town
a
work.
question about one of the locations as well. The North End Ave, from Chambers to Murray, isn't that where there's a senior facility? There's always, like emergency vehicles there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with that.
But would you be blocking that area for emergency vehicles?
No.
No, it's a good
They
answer.
they take up some parking spaces where commercial already goes.
But
And yes,
Betty,
we're supporting, this is supporting what the BPCA would put forward, not taking it back.
but Betty, what she's saying, North End Avenue from Chambers to Murray,
Yeah, I understand.
in front of the senior center is a bus stop and where the emergency vehicles go. On the North End Avenue, on the east side,
As a bus stop.
there's a bus stop and,
I
loading.
understand, but they're not gonna use those areas, use parking areas, and in fact, cross-docking does occur. It occurs regularly on North End Avenue. We just want to be, the Valley Park Civic Committee to talk about that.
Okay.
With the authority.
All right, any, Richard, you're next.
Two questions, because I'm still a little confused as to which one. There's the one by 6th Avenue north of Franklin. Is there an impact to either of those parts or the planned parts? It's where.
No, there's parking, and in fact, well, the first one, in fact, there wasn't objections with being.
It used to one time.
This area, but to put it more on the
Yeah,
side of the application, it's directly next to the bike lane.
Yeah.
It started as the squirrel actually suggested
West side.
by people, and in fact, Alice, in fact, brought it up. There seems to be a lot of cross-docking already occurred there, and Alicia had displayed with near the cottage.
Another question, it says here the lay-by on the east side of Greenwich, but the lay-by is actually on the west side.
No, you're correct, and that just be correct.
That's where, in that lay-by on the west side.
Right, and that's.
It's things like Catherine, they don't say.
Right,
Can you guys, there's a lot of crosstalk. Rosa, Vera, sorry.
Richard, can you repeat the correction you just said?
Yeah.
Instead of the east side by the lay-by, it should be the lay-by on the west side.
West side.
Greenwich.
Greenwich.
What?
And exactly what page is that on?
I got it.
Is that kind of?
Zach has it.
Second table, the
I got
other
it.
suggestions, Mark.
Okay, great. All right, thank you, Sarah.
I see, on South End, West Thames and North End, Chambers, Murray, you mentioned public bathrooms nearby with both of them. Where are these?
Yeah, there are no public bathrooms at West, oh, yeah, there are. There are public bathrooms at West Thames Park in the security area.
Where?
Also,
No one's gonna know about that.
sides,
I'm sorry, what?
there's the Solaire building.
Yeah.
Across from
Yeah.
Rockefeller Park.
Okay, the Solaire, and then South End and West Thames, there's where?
In West Thames Park at the securities ambassadors.
Someone should put a sign up saying that.
Well, right, but again, these aren't all going to be implemented, but the fact is, that was one of the things that DOT asked me to read the little blurb at the top of their table.
Okay.
That's because the workers can access the bathroom.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
helpful
so-
for them.
Plus, they'd like to know about, there's that kind of amenity for these outside workers.
And signs need to be placed.
Well, again, that we dealt with.
I think one of the concerns around South End and West Thames is there really aren't public restrooms over there
No.
anywhere. There is inside West Thames Park,
In the Battery Park City Authority space.
Yeah.
at the West Thames Park.
One bathroom,
That's a block away.
but it's not marked.
And it's not always available. They lock those bathrooms for their shift change.
I mean, there is
Feel too.
whatever is transloading there right now,
That's not.
Yeah.
close.
24 hours a day, pretty much.
That's true. All right, so thank you, Benny. Does anybody have any questions on these? Oh, sorry, Mitch, I forgot you.
That's okay. I just remember two or three things that seem to be a little different than what I remember from the meeting.
Okay.
On the northwest of North Street and Church Street, the third thing was that the metered area on Church Street would be preferable. I thought we had discussed, I mean, I brought it up, but I didn't hear any opposition. And there were so few metered streets in the area that it wouldn't be preferable, I mean, just leaving the first two, comments there, but, that was just a little thing, it's not the end of the world. The other thing was, some people on the committee that are not here had wanted to have 8 o'clock be the top hour, and then some people, I know Betty and some other people want 10 o'clock. My recollection is that we kind of agreed to like compromise at 9 o'clock. And then, unless, I missed something during the meeting. So I did read your email, Betty, so I saw what you said, but I thought that,
Voting on plans that works, and that was, what was on the slide that people were voting on was till 10 o'clock. So although there was some comment, and many people were open to it between 9 and 10, I didn't change it or leaving it to this committee to deal with that because of what was on the screen, what people voted. Things through to that.
we actually, the majority of the committee kind of compromised to 9 o'clock, but like I said, but the other thing is, and maybe, to me, the language on the last one, we had kind of agreed that.
All right, hold on. We need to move this forward.
Okay, well,
So the question becomes,
there was one other thing that's even more important than that.
okay,
Because we spent a lot of time on the other thing.
are we doing 9 o'clock? I mean, that
Yeah.
doesn't seem like a big gig.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so forget about
No, it's got another thing. So 9
The
o'clock?
other thing is, and I think we might even agree with it, just the way it's worded. I had brought up that, it says repurpose commercial parking spaces to keep the existing hours in those areas. So no parking from 8 AM to 6 PM or no parking from 7 AM to 7 PM. and then regular, whatever the rules are, cars or anything like, could park there at night or on weekends or whatever. But to me, the wording here doesn't kind of repurpose commercial parking spaces to keep the existing hours for those areas, but that so the micro hub can have that space 24/7.
So what you're looking for is outside of micro hub hours, retain regular parking rules.
No,
And Betty kind of changed the words a little that I'm reading here.
no, what it was the fact there was, people said, but everybody do micro hubs, and they.
By the way, no one else can leave. We are at quorum.
I'm not going
Period.
to it.
And what we have to.
We're gonna move that.
Like dogs with the neighbors.
Hey,
Space was repurposed to use the hours of that commercial space.
okay, so is there anything bad to put in here that says outside of the commercial parking hours, regular, whatever existing parking should be regular?
That isn't what a micro hub is.
That's what we agreed upon.
I don't
Because we couldn't.
I don't think you can do that because it's like marked and painted, you can't just like reopen it to parking.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
It's, they mark it off with.
But it's only parking for a certain time period. After
They
that time
put
period.
the plastics like barricades
So
and.
it's a permanent change to parking and there's no,
Right.
I brought that up and Katie was there and said it doesn't have to be permanent, and I think the majority of the people agreed.
We don't
to what
want
I'm
to see
saying.
that. That would be nice.
Sarah's No, like Pete said,
You know something?
Brendan, you could speak too, if you heard anything different, was that the actual micro hubs, that's what they are. They have them on the west side, I mean, they know what they are. Micro hubs are function 24/7 or micro. Whatever space they have, that's what it is. However, what she said was, there is a parking space that a truck would pull into, and perhaps could be considered to go back to.
okay, so then let's just put that in here. If that's what Kate said, that whatever space that the parking truck is in should come back to whatever regular parking rules
Well, but it
to
would
a.
stay commercial parking, it shouldn't be a hub.
No, so,
After hub hours.
yeah,
Right, but then it wouldn't change the parking?
There's no parking from 7 AM to 7 PM. We talked about this and.
Yes, I know.
It's,
not
but the.
But where the truck parks could be a
Right.
regular parking
Correct.
spot.
yeah.
Say it's a commercial parking.
Well,
Yes.
that wouldn't be a commercial necessarily. It could, it's dependent on the location and all these other factors. What we had talked about and what Mitch is getting at is if where the truck is, where they don't have like plastic barriers, et cetera, they have painted it out so that during the daytime it's a hub. But what Mitch is asking and what we had talked about in committee is, all right, so then from 7 PM to 7 AM, when the truck is not there, can a public car sit there because they previously had that access?
By there.
And
you
the
mean
answer
truck
was yes.
No,
Or the
a car, my car.
So,
Right,
and the
but
answer
in-
was yes.
Yes.
The micro hub
They offer it.
Yep.
when you cement
But
that there.
what we're saying, Betty, is there's no downside then to putting that here. Saying when, after commercial hub hours, in the area where the truck parks can be returned to after hours regular parking versus having it not for anything. Understand?
Does it need to
Yes,
just be
no,
blank
it's down.
space?
Well,
Yeah,
I would just guess they don't want that because if somebody parks there, they don't move.
but
Like,
it said it was possible, so what are we are,
but that might be possible.
We discussed this and we agreed upon that.
right, so if it was agreed, if Kate said it's possible, let's just not throw the baby out with the bathwater, let's just include it and move on.
Agreed.
Because it's gonna be per location anyway, if it's possible, if possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Thank you, Mitch. Anybody else?
There's one other person, maybe. No.
Second.
All right, well,
All right, so,
did you check online?
Yeah, good one, Sammy's Law.
yes, I mean,
That's
that's,
an easy one.
I'm not sure why we needed a resolution on it, because they just did it.
Because we have to get feedback when they do a notification.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it's not controversial.
It's not controversial.
All right, let's go.
All right. Amy, we're
Okay,
taking
so-
all three together.
All right,
All right.
And I think the question was
it was
called
called and seconded.
and seconded, all three go together.
I just gotta find some paper.
You want a pen or paper?
Well, it's, just in case.
Right.
Well, There.
All right, there was one amendment that Zach has on this, I wrote it down, on the micro hub one about the after hours on the parking. And other than that, there's no change to the Sammy's law, no change to the other. So, vote by affirmation, it was called, it was seconded, are there any no's?
No on the super speed.
Can you say your name, please?
No on the super speeders.
Okay. Galloway, no on the super, are there any other no's? Hearing and seeing no other no's, are there any abstentions? No abstentions, any recusals? None. Fantastic, motion passes. This is our last two resolutions. Paul Goldstein, wait, no, Battery Park City has a report, sorry. So close, you got 5 minutes and then we're out of here.
You gotta go.
Okay, go.
Well, wait for my slides. Okay, go to the next slide. The only thing I'm going to talk about is the first item, which is the Trade Center water pump tunnels. As this diagram or this photo shows here, there's a couple of water tunnels that run under the Esplanade and Funkowski Plaza in Battery Park City. They're undergoing a major construction project, have been for several years. Next slide. Next slide, let's just repeat. So this is a diagram where the construction work is. The sort of orangish area is currently roped off, has been for more or less a year or so now. And the main item of news, let's go to the next slide again, is that area is going to continue to be roped off and unavailable for the next 2 years until 2027. Because as they were cleaning out the tunnels underneath, they realized the whole thing was falling apart. So they're having to do some pretty major repairs of these tunnel areas, and it won't take that long. The good news is that the resiliency project work won't be going on there for 2 years. The bad news is, as soon as this is done, the resiliency work will begin in that exact same area for another couple of years. And that's my report.
Thank you, Jeff, for your brevity and your detail. All right, Paul Goldstein, you and Andrew are our last committee of the night, I believe. So take it away.
Okay, so first item, just show you a few slides that are going on at Hudson River Park. They're having jazz and blues concerts, food festivals, dancing, exercise, and the River Project is doing educational programs. Okay, we could move on from that. I'm sure this was the major item that we discussed, which was renovation of the Battery Field House. It's really in poor shape, and it was agreed. And the Battery Conservancy maintains the park. So they put together a plan for this, and this just shows you what is relatively going on. This is a look at the field house. You can see it's dilapidated. It needs replacement. There was no question about it. And we just talked about, serving especially the youth population that goes to the Sea Glass Carousel, the Bosque, and the other activities, the playground there. And there was also, in this case, we talked about bathrooms. And we agreed that especially for the families, we need to create a usable bathroom. So Tammy, you'll be happy to see that in the resolution, we specifically outline that during this construction, they will specifically keep the public restrooms in the area open. And there will be more wayfinding signs and other signage to identify where bathrooms are available. So it's a positive resolution, and if there are any questions, I'll take them. And these are just photos or images of what the area looks like and what it's going to look like when it's built.
Anybody have any questions? I see no questions in the room.
Call the question.
Second.
Oh, no, we're gonna do these together.
Okay, let's go.
Because then we gotta roll.
Okay, very good. Titanic New York proposal. This pretty much says it all. They came to the community board with a pretty outrageous proposal to build this tower at the end of Pier 16. And on top of that, they never consulted the Seaport Museum, which is the leaseholder of Pier 16. So they knew nothing about it. The community board was not very enthusiastic about it. So we passed a very simple resolution saying no. So that's quick report.
Right, so we are going, so,
Questions?
any questions on this one?
Call the question.
Second. Question is called, question is second. We will be roll calling this. I ask no one to move a chair until Mimi's done with roll call,
No chairs
please.
left to move.
And every butt that is in a chair,
I understand.
take your own chair and put it in the back when we're done, please, because
Wait, we do have to do that?
Ones at the table?
they go to the back.
The table ones go to the
The
back.
table ones go to the back. The only thing we leave is the physical table. We are very grateful for the fact that we are really fortunate at CB1 to have this space.
Yeah.
With their best we can.
Okay, it's roll call New York.
Like, what?
So, we have second in question.
Well, your questions are late, so let's roll call.
Yes.
Okay.
They'll answer your questions.
It's,
It's
yeah.
a no, don't worry. Just-
Well, yeah, but like.
Yes, definitely.
Where did it come from?
It's okay, because
You know you're gonna be close to watching the tape, right?
Do they say it there?
Yes, please watch.
Okay.
Because it's
Anyway.
important. It's in.
Artist,
No.
took both of them.
What?
No, it is a no. Reverse micro.
This is a vote against it, so.
Oh, sorry, then yes, Arden, yes.
Okay.
I'm telling you, by September, I'm gonna have this whole thing here.
Voting on both resolutions, right?
You make me laugh my ass off.
Okay.
All right, okay, people. Cameron.
Next, Cameron.
Yes.
All righty. Good. Estelle,
Estelle, yes.
thank you. Cheng,
Chang, yes.
all righty. Chapman,
Chapman, yes.
thank you. Cole,
Paul, yes.
thank you. Curtis, wait, sorry, Kucha,
Kuchia, yes.
all right.
You got 44.
Flores,
Flores, yes.
Yeah.
Schlinn, yes. Friedman,
Friedman, yes.
yes. Froman,
Roman, yes.
yes. Galloway,
Galloway, yes on both.
yes. Goldstein,
Olson, yes and yes.
yes and yes. Hernandez,
Hernandez, yes.
yes. Okay, yes. Capel. Is he still on?
I have no idea what
I
happened.
don't think, yeah, watch him out.
All right, Lerner,
Yes.
Lyon,
Line, yes.
thank you. Meltzer,
Yes.
all righty. Moore,
Yes squared.
excellent. Rios,
Yes.
yes. Robinson,
Robinson, yes, we see.
that's too many votes. Rossi,
yes.
thank you. Star,
Star, yes.
yes. Verasong,
Yes.
thank you. Thompson,
Yes.
yes. And Zelter.
Delter, yes, and abstain.
Ooh, making it worth it to have two. All right, thank you.
We quorum?
Yeah,
Okay,
yes.
yes. At What am I, 8:54, meeting is adjourned.
Thanks, Tammy. Good night.